audience. We can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today by calling 844-GET-MY-AD. That's 844-GET-MY-AD.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat for this Power Rankings Tuesday. Last night, it didn't go your way. But then today, Jeremy.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
I still hate that dance with every fiber of my soul. But that being said, Aaron's got his little boo thing back.
It's happening. Davante Adams. Sources say the Jets are finalizing the trade to send a third-round conditional pick to the Las Vegas Raiders that could become a 2 for Davante Adams.
Mm-hmm. You know what? And you know what that deal tells me?
What's that?
That the New York Jets have figured out the same thing I have, which is the bottom half of the AFC. I hadn't done this a minute, so I got to really make sure my voice is ready. Absolutely, unequivocally sucks.
That it does.
The bottom 8 teams in the AFC are a level of bad that is hard to wrap your brain around. And I don't know how good at math you are, but there are 16 teams in the AFC. 7 of them make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
8 of them suck on ice, which means there's only one team that's even vaguely competent that's not going to make the playoffs. Now, there's a great possibility that team is the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
But, Tanker,
yeah.
have you looked at the schedule for the Jets?
It looks pretty easy going down the stretch.
Because this week they play the Pittsburgh Steelers with Justin Fields, which, I mean, it's in Pittsburgh, Sunday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Not a fun scenario.
It's not going to be easy.
Then you get the Patriots. I've already read that book. I liked it a lot. You play Texans.
Mm-hmm.
They really did a number on C.J. Stroud last year. He talked a lot about them. All right, that's probably a loss. Then you go Cardinals, Colts, Seahawks, Dolphins, Jaguars, Rams before you play the Bills and Dolphins again. There's one good team there, and you play them in week 17. So I say this, and you can call me the stupid Jet fan. You can call me Charlie Brown. You can call me whatever you want to call me. The New York Jets are making the playoffs. And I'm going to level with you. I was fully prepared to say that before that trade came down.
Right. Losing last night, how'd that make you feel?
It was a coin flip game that was completely dominated by officials.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I did after the Broncos loss. The Jets should be 5-1. This team really does not understand how to win football games.
Yeah.
That's a problem. You've also got Aaron Rodgers.
And you've also
and
now
if you
got a
think
closer.
Aaron, and I'm going to say this as nicely as I can, and I really struggle in saying things nicely. If you think that Aaron Rodgers is what beat the New York Jets last night, you are a moron. And that is the best way I can say that. What beat the New York Jets is the defense is not nearly as good as people think it is. They are hard to throw on. They are not hard to run on.
Right.
And if I'm one of these teams looking at having to play that team coming up, I'll run right down your throat. Opening drive, Bills ran 8 of 9 plays. Ran right down the field with 2 backup running backs. It did not matter.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do about that? I don't really know. Javon Kinlaw should not be on this team, period. And last night's little show of whatever that was, it should have been confirmation of it. Yeah. I mean, I think they they give up 6-something yards per carry when he's on the field. Okay, then he shouldn't be on the field.
Right.
Davante Adams, in and of itself, he is a first ballot Hall of Fame receiver. He's not really that guy at this point. He is a top 10-ish receiver in the NFL. But here's what you did, and I've yet to hear anybody say this. So these bulldog blitzes that Buffalo used last night, Denver used 2 weeks ago, Minnesota used last week, good luck. There's no more Mike Williams to bail you out.
Right.
There's no more Mike Williams who on a choice route, you had 3 options. You took the only bad one. You could have stopped. You could have flagged out. You posted in. That was the only thing you couldn't do because he was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
And the throw's fine if he runs either of the other 2 routes. The problem is he got turned around because Dum Dum went, let me run right into the safety.
Yeah.
You now have the best receiving core in the NFL, and it's not debatable.
I would agree with that.
Because I would love to hear who you would throw at me. The Seattle Seahawks with Tyler Lockett. Don't make me laugh. Tyler Lockett would be the 5 for the New York Jets right now. Alan Lazard's not a good receiver. Look what Aaron Rodgers has done with him.
He's good with Aaron, though.
He's good with Aaron.
Sometimes
Davante Adams is good
right,
with Aaron.
Sometimes you just have guys that are good with that guy. And look, Aaron Rodgers, I remember Greeny calling this before the season even started. He said, by Halloween, Aaron Rodgers will be, or Davante Adams will be with Aaron Rodgers in New York. It's been rumored for a long, long time. And the Jets are now at a point where maybe our coaching's not that good. Right? Maybe
Jeff Ulbrich was encouraging, and if you didn't see the difference in Todd Downing from Nathaniel Hackett, I can't help you.
Right.
It was obvious. Pre-snap motion, they were dead last in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They did it on like 70-something% of snaps last night. Yeah, that's NFL offense. That's what that looked like.
Yep.
It was an NFL offense.
Yep.
Breece Hall had his best game of the season.
But even if they're not, right, even if this is a sidestep move, which I don't think it is, you add in another superstar, and you've obviously put yourself in a position to kind of lock up a playoff spot here.
You have, to me, a very good opportunity to make the playoffs. Bill Buttigieg said any Jets fan that thinks Davante Adams is going to take them to a Super Bowl should be in an asylum. Who said anything about a Super Bowl? I didn't hear a soul say a word about a Super Bowl.
Mm-mm.
I said a playoff spot. This team needs to make the playoffs for the furtherance of the franchise.
Yes.
Because you can't hear this every single year. I talk to these guys every single week. The negativity in that building, anytime you bring that up, is deafening. Now, where do you go from here? Aaron now has everything he could ever want. He kept Nathaniel Hackett in the building. He's upstairs. That's the little Aaron whisperer. Mm-hmm. Todd Downing's down on the sideline. He's calling the plays. Jeff Ulbrich, I think he did a good job last night. It didn't look tremendously different from Robert Saleh, but it was also the first week. And he did have the get-back coach, which I don't know what the term for that is in the NFL. He was having to deal with, I'm the one that has to challenge plays.
Right.
I have to do all of these things.
Yep.
If you walked away from last night watching the Jets lose in a game to the Buffalo Bills, and you walked away from that saying, well, obviously not a playoff team, okay, then you don't think Buffalo's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Buffalo's great. But how many teams in the NFL do you think are better than them? There's not a lot of great. That's the problem. Why do you make a move like this? Because you're looking around the AFC going, Baltimore always lets down in the postseason. Houston has virtually no playoff experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very talented roster, but they're already dealing with injuries. Kansas City can't win every Super Bowl. I would love to have something to ding them on, but I don't really have it.
Right.
And then who else in the AFC do you believe in? Is it the Miami Dolphins who don't have a quarterback?
Nope.
No. Is it the Cincinnati Bengals that couldn't stop a nosebleed?
Nope.
No. Is it the Cleveland Browns that don't have a competent quarterback? No. Is it the Indianapolis Colts with Joe Flacco? No. Is it the Jacksonville Jaguars, who I swear to God I think Trent Baalke bet against them? I think he's got the under in Jacksonville Jaguar wins, and he bet his life savings on it.
Right.
Is it the Denver Broncos with Bo Nix? Is it the Raiders that now have a receiver? See, that's the point. It's a numbers game.
Mm-hmm.
7 teams from the AFC are making the playoffs. That is a fact. The same way that today is Tuesday and water is wet. That's what this is about. Get to the playoffs and hope that the mystique of Aaron Rodgers shows up in the playoffs. That's all you can do. What is the alternative? It is so funny to me. And yes, I am a Jets fan, so I'm obviously a little biased to this. The narrative that the Jets should just roll over and die is potentially the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But what's your next step? All right, Joe Douglas, who we're going to talk about you in a minute, Joe. I think has built a really good roster. It has deficiencies, for sure. But it's exponentially better than it was when he took this roster over. You fired the coach, so we already know there's going to be a new coach next year. It was never going to be Bill Belichick. So, Bill, and I mean this the nicest way humanly possible, it's adorable that you don't want the job. We didn't damn ask.
Right.
So, the Spice Girls don't want me to come to their birthday party. That means just about as much as you not wanting the Jets job. You have to do this. You are pot committed.
Mm-hmm.
And now you have a receiver in Devontae Adams that Aaron trusts. You have a receiver in Alan Lazard that he trusts. Do you know where Alan Lazard sits right now in terms of yardage in the NFL?
Oh, I'd say he's got to be in top 12.
He's in the
15.
top. He's 20. He's right behind Terry McLaurin and right ahead of Brandon Ayuk.
Really?
That's your 3 now. Garrett Wilson's still the one. But he is a more talented receiver right now than Devontae Adams. Devontae may function as the one, but then you got to look at what this does in the offense. Devontae plays on the outside. Alan Lazard plays on the outside. That's 2 of the best blocking receivers in the NFL. Where's that put Garrett Wilson?
Mm-hmm.
In the slot. The thing I've been saying for 2 years of that's where he does his best work, and it shows. And you know who figured that out? Todd Downing did. I walked away from last night 2-4. Okay, I think 9-8 makes playoffs in the AFC. I mean, because you got to look at what these teams still have to encounter. All right, so we just talked about the Jets schedule. Have you looked at Buffalo's?
Okay.
So the Buffalo Bills have a 2-game lead on the Jets.
Yep.
They do have an advantage in that they just won a game against the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at who they play from here?
So you got 2 wins up.
You got 2 wins up. They go Titans, Seahawks, Dolphins, Colts. Okay, that's not
4-0. More than likely.
That at the Seahawks has Buffalo loss written all over it.
Right.
Then you go Kansas City, 49ers, at the Rams, who will be healthy by that time and probably battling for a low-end playoff spot, because I got news for you. The NFC does the exact same thing. They're not as bad at the bottom, but there are a lot of teams that are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
At the Lions, you have to play that Jet team again, and you got to play New England twice, a New England team that will have nothing to lose, that has been a land of horrors for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say this, and you know what? It may make me look like an idiot 3 months from now. The New York Jets are winning this division.
Wow.
And I was fully prepared to say that before they added Devontae Adams.
That's a lot of faith before the Devontae Adams. Now that they've added Devontae Adams, I can't say I disagree with you, because Aaron has showed time after time after time there's certain dudes that he likes. He just connects with some guys. And Devontae Adams was unstoppable when he was with Aaron. And somebody said in the chat earlier that Devontae Adams was only that guy when he was with Aaron. I mean, he was really good with Aaron.
He was good with Derek Carr, too.
Right.
He had 1,500 yards with Derek Carr.
Right. He's still one of the top 7, at least, wide receivers in the league.
I would say there's more than that now.
Maybe.
I think he's closer into that 12 to 15 range. But
Okay, I feel like we're
well, there's a difference
hairs
there.
here.
Well, because he's not the superstar that the name entails.
that he used
that
to
is.
be. Yeah.
But you're still getting a high-end, top half of the league number one receiver. Hey, you already have one of those, and with Aaron Rodgers, Alan Lazard kind of plays the same role. Mm-hmm. You have 3 ones. Mm-hmm. You also have 2 really good running backs. You got issues on the offensive line. Tyron Smith was awful last night. But those are all correctable problems. And now that leads to I have to say something. And Tank, I believe you have a musical selection prepared for me to Okay, I don't have a lot of reason to be happy. This is the same team that gave me the butt fumble. This is the same team that gave me Mark Sanchez, Rex Ryan's foot fetish, Rich Kotite. I could do this for a long time. You let me be happy. Mind your business and let me be happy.
We all know where this goes.
I know where it goes. I know where it goes, but you let me have today.
You're in the Sportsocracy. And this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, and we'll start at the bottom next. Nope. That one.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
Football season is here, and at Haywood Regional Medical Center, we know it's not just the players who need to stay in top shape. Whether you're an athlete pushing for the win or a fan enjoying the action, our orthopedic team is here to keep you in the game. This season, let Haywood Regional Medical Center meet your orthopedic needs. From tears and strains to sprains and breaks, we use today's therapeutic technology to keep you moving. Visit myhaywoodregional.com to learn more. Haywood Regional Medical Center, sports medicine and orthopedics to help you live your healthiest life.
When it comes to electrical needs in Asheville, trust the experts at Grigg Electric. Veteran-owned and operated, Grigg Electric is Asheville's #1 choice for electrical services. They offer a variety of electrical services for residential, commercial, or industrial installations in Buncombe, Henderson, Madison, McDowell, and Yancey counties. Call Grigg Electric today, 828-232-0021. That's 828-232-0021. Serving Western North Carolina since 1976. Online at griggelectric.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
I'm Cheryl Swoops. And I'm Tarika Foster Brasby. And on our new podcast, we're talking about the real obstacles women face day to day. Because no matter who you are, there are levels to what we experience as women.
And T and I have no problem going there.
Listen to Levels to This with Cheryl Swoops and Tarika Foster Brasby on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Levels to This with Cheryl Swoops and Tarika Foster Brasby and start listening.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Twice in one day. Twice in 1 hour.
Twice
in
in
the first
20
half
minutes.
hour. Holy cow. I love dancing. We got breaking news, more, and it's coming in relation to who the New York Jets are playing this week. The
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Eee, so, quarterback decision?
Russell Wilson, according to Tom Pelissero, will get first-team reps this week with the intention of him playing against the New York Football Jets.
Okay.
Teacher, pick me. But for why? but for why are you doing that? All right, so just walk me through this. You're getting ready to go up against a team, and DJ Reed got hurt last night. I get it. But they still have Sauce Gardner, who is going to be on the only competent receiver you have. And so you're going to take away the guy that does the thing that the Jets struggle with. I need you to explain that to me like I'm 6. If there was a game on your schedule where Justin Fields should be the starting quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's against the Jets. Why in the world would you do this now? And I told you this yesterday. The fact that you keep letting Russell Wilson hang around is the dumbest thing I'm actively seeing in the NFL right now. What do you think you're getting in him?
I don't know what the benefit could be. Remember the argument that we had in the preseason was maybe he, will control the ball better. He won't turn it over as much as Justin Fields will. But Fields really hasn't had a problem with that like he had in Chicago.
And he's a mobile threat against a team that has had trouble stopping the run. Oh, and by the way, your offensive line's killed. So you're going to put a markedly less mobile quarterback who has not been good in 3 solid years back there to throw on the Jets secondary, which has been one of the best in the NFL.
With your sad set of weapons.
With your pitiful set of weapons. Make that make sense to me.
I can't make it make sense.
Now, look, you have got an edge against the Jets because they don't have anybody who can stop TJ Watt. He's going to create havoc. But you've got to be able to score too. Russell Wilson's not a good NFL quarterback. He's not.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason that he had no market. It was the Steelers, the Giants, and nobody else. Because the book is out. He does not push the ball down the field. Nobody's scared of him, and they shouldn't be. And you do this now at 4-2. Mike Tomlin's forgotten more about this game than any of us know. That does not make him infallible. And this is a bad decision. And even let's just say, for whatever reason, he's not – he's been the emergency 3.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to take reps away from Justin Fields, who needs every single rep he can possibly get, and then throw him out there having played 50% of the snaps, 30% of the snaps, 70%, whatever it is. This is a stupid decision.
It doesn't make any sense on the outside looking in because it's not like you're tied to him money-wise. Right? This isn't the same thing. They picked him up for $1.5 million, something like that. Right? He's not making big money like he was in Denver. So I don't even have that to lean on. To say we brought him in here thinking that he was the franchise. That's not the case here anymore.
We have our first super chat of the day. Yeah! It's from Soaring Eagle, who said, how do you look at this team winning? Justin Fields tearing it up. Now, he did in the first 4 games. The last 2 have been fine, but tearing it up would be a little bit of a stretch for me. And go, well, we're done with this bust. Let's get the geriatric cornball in there. And I told you this in the offseason.
Yeah.
You know where this really will resonate? With players on that offense.
Mm-hmm.
With George Pickens, who's going to look around and go, do I have a better chance to contribute to this team with Justin Fields or Russell Wilson? Because to me, it's not even close. Your line's not good enough. If you think you're going to sit Russell Wilson back there against that Jet front, who will probably have Hassan Reddick back, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
You mark my words, that gets done in the next 48 hours. It was close 2 weeks ago.
Is there anything wrong with Justin Fields? Is he hurt? Is he banged up? Does he have a minor sprain? Or
no?
I mean, because I could see it in that case of, okay, Justin's got a nagging injury, and we are bringing Russ in, and we're going to let him spot start because we're probably going to lose this game anyway.
He has no injury designation as of right now.
Okay. I'm just trying to come up with any solution possible because I don't know why you would do this.
I don't have a good answer. I can't even play devil's advocate on this because it doesn't make any sense to me. So you're going to sit Justin Fields down with the hope that Russell Wilson will come in and do exactly what Justin Fields has done for the last 6 games, which is take care of the ball, don't turn it over, provide a dynamic threat out of the backfield, which Russell Wilson at this point is not.
Right.
Make this make sense to me. If Justin Fields came out and got obliterated by the Jets, okay, we can talk. Because you do have a 1A, 1B situation at quarterback. But you're looking at a 4-2 team that's currently tied for the lead in their division and switching quarterbacks.
It just hasn't made any sense to me why Mike Tomlin will not commit to Justin Fields. And maybe it's the leadership thing. Right? He's not the Steeler guy. He's not the locker room leader. I have no idea. I'm just making.
Then why'd you bring him in?
I'm just kind of reaching here.
Then why did you bring him in here? You wanted this to go exactly how it went.
Sure.
Because Justin Fields could be your quarterback moving forward. You're winning games. I don't care why you're winning games. None of that really matters because I know Russell Wilson is not the solution.
Mm-hmm.
I know definitively what you're going to get out of him. Justin Fields is putting up results. And it's bothered me the entire season that Mike Tomlin would not shut this down. And now we see why. Because Russell Wilson was always going to be his guy, and I have a weird feeling that this is going to blow up in his face.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the conspiracy theory that, they're setting up Russell Wilson to fail here.
You don't need to set him up to fail. He's already failed.
Precisely.
We've all already seen it. He was the worst quarterback in the NFL at times in Denver.
To go down that path, then you have to think that there is a large portion of the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base that believes Russell Wilson is the answer. Like, definitively have to push for it. That's the only way that scenario makes sense in my head.
I can't.
Are you splitting the fan base here if you keep Russell Wilson on the bench?
For sure you are.
No, I mean, like right now. If
you're doing it regardless.
Yeah.
Because there are people that look around and go, Russell Wilson's still that guy. They're not very smart, and they apparently have been under a rock for 3 years.
Right.
But they still exist.
Okay.
I thought the only way this ever made sense to me was if you brought Russell Wilson in to be a voice in the room that could teach Justin Fields how to play quarterback. There is an improvement in what I see right now running out of that Arthur Smith offense.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 2 games, one to the Colts, one to the Cowboys. I got news for you. Russell Wilson would not have won either one of those games. You beat the Falcons in a game that I don't think Russell Wilson would have won.
Right.
You beat the Broncos in a game that I don't think Russell Wilson would have won.
Right.
And now you're going into one of the tougher parts of your schedule because you play the Jets at home this week. Then you get the Giants. That's still a mean pass rush. Then you go at the Commanders, Ravens, at the Browns, at the Bengals, Browns again, at the Eagles, at the Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Who in that is Russell Wilson going to beat? Okay, you can beat the Browns because they can't score. Okay, you can beat the Giants because they can't score. Name me one of these teams that you, honest to God, would feel good betting your own dollars with.
It doesn't exist.
I don't have it either.
Although Gambit fan did, I didn't think of it this way. Could this be a play for the front office? Right? Because could this be the front office really wants Russell Wilson to be the guy?
Mike Tomlin has too much pull here.
And that's what I'm thinking. Like Mike Tomlin does not seem like the kind of guy that has to bow down to whatever Omar Khan wants. Or if
Omar Khan's not telling Mike Tomlin squat.
Right. Or if it goes over his head, I mean, who's next in line? Is the president of football operations? Do they have that much power over Mike Tomlin for Mike Tomlin not to look at them and go, Russell Wilson's not the guy?
This is a Mike Tomlin decision.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
No, I don't either. But it is Mike Tomlin. And, this team may not end up being an 11-12 win team. But by God, they're on track for 9 wins, 10 wins, and
a playoff
spot. Because the AFC, as we said earlier, is terrible. And when we come back from the break, you'll find out just what we're talking about, how bad the AFC, or the bottom of the AFC, is. Power Rankings Tuesday continues after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, good-looking Tuesday afternoon, and as I've been saying, really not much going on in terms of precipitation over the next few days, maybe the next 7 days or longer. Looking at a northwest breeze and sunshine and chilly weather this afternoon, 58. Tonight down to about 35 with a few clouds around and quite breezy. Tomorrow, breezy and chilly to start, sunshine and cool in the afternoon with that northwest breeze, 52. Will feel cooler. Thursday, some frost in the morning as we're going to start off near 30 with 20s in some spots. Sunny later, high 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Millions protect their homes from power outages with Generac home standby generators. Would you like to be part of this lucrative industry? Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, has limited franchise opportunities in your area. Learn more at generatorfranchise.com.
With 2 convenient locations, Singleton's Automotive will keep your vehicle on the road. Singleton's offers routine maintenance, BG services, tires, inspections, alignments, and more in their family-owned shops. Singleton's Automotive is hiring technicians for both locations. Receive competitive pay and benefits depending on experience. Visit singletonsautomotive.com. That's singletonsautomotive.com. Car care with character.
Deep in the back of your mind, you've always had the feeling that there's something strange about reality. There is. Stuff to Blow Your Mind, an iHeart podcast that dives deep into the mysteries of the universe. With more than 2,500 episodes ready to listen, Stuff to Blow Your Mind will guide you through the strange, the bizarre, and the mind-blowing. Listen to Stuff to Blow Your Mind on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff to Blow Your Mind to start listening.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
Back in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. I turned your mic on, didn't turn mine on.
I got in the car, but I didn't have on any pants.
Sometimes the order of operations is, a little out of whack. Anyhow, welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, a Power Ranking Tuesday, Week 7 Power Rankings.
You did it wrong.
I know.
Power Rankings Tuesday.
And we always start at the bottom. Now we're here. Number 32.
The Jacksonville Jaguars. What is it you'd say you do good? Because I don't take Bigsby. Do you know he's the leading rusher on that team?
That doesn't surprise
me. He
me.
has outrushed Travis Etienne on 15 fewer carries. He's averaging over 7 yards a carry. Etienne's right at 4. Excuse me? Come again for Judge Fudge? Doug Peterson's a terrible coach. And he's the next one fired.
No doubt
And
about
I think it happens after the London game this week because I'm going to go ahead and tell you I don't like Jacksonville this week either.
New England Patriots with Drake May. Maybe they could come in and take another one from Jacksonville. You go.
The UN should get involved in this. We should not be allowed to do this. I mean, okay, England they're supposed to be a friend, and we are just. Well, we gave you Jets Vikings. That was fun. Then we gave you Jaguars Bears and Jaguars Patriots. Isn't there should be a treaty about this? No.
The No Jaguars treaty.
Stop sending us bad football. You want us to love this. Why do you keep making us want to hate it?
Because they don't know any better. That's why. Hey, American football.
Hey,
it's
look,
all better than soccer.
I was about to say, they're used to soccer,
right.
And they score less than your friend in college that was really into magic.
Is that Magic the card game?
Didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
Any of it. If you're a
sleight
dude,
of hand tricks to women in the bar.
If you're a dude and you utter the phrase "I'm really into magic," it doesn't matter if it's look, this rabbit just appeared or The Gathering.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you score about as often as the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So you better be a big fan of Orlando
for sure. Which is you score at a rate that you didn't mean to.
No, you just
even when you do, it's not because anything you did. You were just in the right place at the right time.
You just visit the liquor store more. As an Orlando Magic fan,
the magician's code. Best audience is a drunk audience.
Jacksonville Jaguars at number 32. They are not good at football. That should be the next firing.
For sure.
Doug Peterson. It's not working. And if they fall to I'm not even sure they have to lose this week. Part of me believes that the only reason Doug Peterson has not been fired is because that'd look really weird to fire your coach on foreign soil. So he got one more game just because they're in the doubleheader stint over in London.
I just want to sing the Doug song at this point. What do Jaguars dream of when they take a little jaggy snooze? With a team of winning games. Or just getting to 5-12.
I just wonder if Shad Khan's got friends in high places. He can have the passport of Doug Peterson revoked.
Doug. When you get slaughtered by Drake May, well, then you're...
Number 31.
Those New England Patriots.
And that's why we say this is going to be an assault on our relationship with the British.
For sure. I mean, this is New England's not good, but Drake May was encouraging. Christian Gonzalez is a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And look, New England has pieces. You don't want to win because your reward at the end of this rainbow is either one of these elite offensive linemen or Travis Hunter. And Travis Hunter would be a welcome addition to both the offense and defense of the New England Patriots. So just remember that on Sundays.
Is he going to play both ways at the next level?
I don't know.
You think he can?
I've talked to a handful of scouts, and half of them think he's a wide receiver, half of them think he's a corner.
Either way, he could help out the New England Patriots.
For the New England Patriots, he might play offense, defense, special teams. They might let him run the books. Don't know how good he is on Quicken. Might give him a part of the concessions.
Just find a need, fill a need. That's the motto of the day. Number 30.
The other kitties. Mm-hmm. The Carolina Panthers.
Now, since Andrew Dalton has come in and taken over at quarterback, they've looked much better offensively. They're still terrible defensively.
Much better.
Oh, yeah. I mean, do you not remember what they looked like with Bryce Young?
Okay, but this is not a moving scale, all right? They looked like a Pee-wee middle school team.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a long way to get to respectable NFL offense.
Sure, but they went from, middle school JV team to going to, they're like Kent State. To me, it's night and day.
This is a team that's gotten beat 74-30 in 2 weeks against the Bears and the Falcons, who I don't have either one of those in the top third of the NFL. You have been smoked like a deli meat. I mean, okay, so you look competent now. I agree with a lot of the pundits that have basically said, "What's the point?" All right, so you're trotting Andy Dalton out there. And I get it. I was in favor of this move, but now it's you've got a lesser defense than the Commanders coming in this weekend, or you're going there this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I wouldn't fire up Bryce Young again.
Really?
What's the point? What are you getting out of this?
I don't know.
It's not like you're developing anybody. I mean, Xavier Legette has been okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's had a couple touchdowns.
He has. He's made a couple of good plays.
But, I mean, at some point, Jonathan Brooks comes back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That team needs a lot.
At number 29.
This one was a little tougher for me because there's two teams that I think kind of belong here, but I'm going to default to the Tennessee Titans.
What's wrong with your boy?
Will Levis?
Yeah.
I don't think you're using him right. You should use him gooder.
How could they use him gooder?
I don't.
What do they
ask him to throw less?
I was to say, what do they need to do with him?
Will, you ever heard that phrase, less is more? Less of you is more. He looks awful. All of the scouts that told me you're too high on Will Levis, yeah, now I see what you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because he can do special things. He can't do the mundane. This is the Bo Nix. Same thing I said about Bo Nix.
Right.
Yeah, you can do some special stuff. You're just so inconsistent doing the basic. Calvin Ridley is catatonic, and I'm not going to lie to you, he should be. You don't run the ball well. You don't run the ball nearly enough to me. And you're asking Will Levis to carry you, and he can't do it. He's already thrown, 7 interceptions?
Yep. 5 touchdowns to 7 interceptions.
I don't know that you have a good receiver on this team. DeAndre Hopkins looks about 143 years old.
Which he kind of is.
Tyler Boyd's just a slot guy, and Calvin Ridley looks exactly like he did last year with the Jaguars. And then he complains. I mean, he got 9 targets?
For
Calvin Ridley last week.
Ridley. Oh, yeah.
I think he had 9 targets last week.
Yeah.
Caught none of them. It's a bad team. The defense is fine, but you cannot keep giving teams opportunities. They should have beaten Indianapolis, but they kept giving Joe Flacco the ball, and if you do it long enough, eventually the defense can't hold up.
Mm-hmm. Put your defense in bad spots, you're going to lose a lot of games.
I want you to think about what I'm getting ready to say here.
Mm-hmm.
So for as bad as it's been for Tennessee, you do realize that they're allowing almost 30 less yards than any team in the NFL. Do you realize how bad this would be if your defense wasn't good? And I do think it's good. Jarvis Brownlee is a dog. I don't know how there was a kid that was that good that just kind of came out of nowhere, and he's still that good. He's a little grabby.
Yep.
But, I mean, look, there are pieces in Tennessee you don't want to win. You're in a quarterback derby. You got to find somebody that Brian Callahan believes in because it is super obvious it's not Will Levis.
Right. Nor should it be.
I think Levis is one of those – and I was already right about Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I do think Levis will find a second act somewhere in an offense that makes more sense.
Okay.
You're going to have to run an offense for him that's very similar to Lamar Jackson because he's a really talented runner. And I don't know if you know this or not because I would say you probably don't make a huge habit of watching Tennessee Titan games. They're running him like twice a game. And it's usually on broken plays. There is no designed quarterback runs. And that's just, to me, you're using him improperly. He's not playing well. But you're neutering what I thought was one of his greatest assets, was that he can run right at you. He's a big guy, and he can get yardage that way. Josh Allen probably would have been a better comparison there. Yeah, Will Levis winds up playing quarterback for the New York Giants and Brian Daboll and is really good. That's how this goes. I just did that math in my head. Congratulations, New York Giants fans. I just fixed your franchise. Bill's in the mail.
At number 28.
The Cleveland Browns.
Oh, God, they're terrible.
Holy Lord.
I mean, how have they not just told Deshaun Watson to go home?
Well, look, Deshaun Watson was not the problem last week. He was practically perfect in the second half. Your defense is just not good. I don't know how that has happened. I don't know why that has happened. They have all the talent you could ever want, and outside of Myles Garrett, none of it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland, to me, we've talked about Doug Peterson being the next coach fired. I'm not sure it shouldn't be Kevin Stefanski. This has been a clunky marriage since the second Deshaun Watson got here. Stefanski cannot adapt in any way. It's my way or the highway. We're going to keep doing this, whether it makes sense or not. And look, I still think Cleveland's really talented. But that message has fallen flat.
Mm-hmm.
You played 6 games, and you have been completely overmatched in 4 of the 6. The only 2 you weren't were against the worst team in the NFL and the Raiders.
Do you think it matters even a marked bit that Nick Chubb's coming back at some point soon?
It can't hurt. I mean, do I think it's going to change anything?
You can't run the ball as it is. And so
you're averaging 4.5 yards a carry.
Maybe.
So. Now, it's hard to run the ball when you're behind all the time.
Right, I was going to say, they just don't do it enough to serve the purpose of the Kevin Stefanski offense, because it's always been run first. If you're playing from behind, then you have to put it on Deshaun Watson. And
see, to me, that falls on Kevin Stefanski. Mm-hmm. He has not leaned on the running game, and I don't think he's going to. I really don't. You have the weapons to keep guys out of the box. You want to make this easier on Deshaun Watson? Lean on Jerome Ford, lean on Nick Chubb, lean on Deontay Foreman, lean on Pierre Strong, whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a run-first offense. That's not who Kevin Stefanski is. And in times of – if you ever want to know how a coach wants to coach a team, watch when things are bad. When things are humming, I have to do what continues to win. When I'm coaching for my job, just sit back and watch it. It's not hard to figure out. He wants Deshaun Watson to be that guy. He just has no idea how to get it out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that means you're not the coach of this team.
Right. Number 27.
The The aforementioned Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, you remember when you used to think they were good? Because they're not. I don't see any redeeming quality for this team. I mean, other than Max Crosby, especially now that they just sent Devontae Adams packing.
Well, there's redeeming qualities. I mean, you Brock Bowers is a dog. You have other guys on this team that are really, really good. But you have huge issues in different areas of this team. To me, the Raiders are a failure from the top down. The Josh McDaniels era, it's going to take 2 to 3 years to recover from that. You've got too many players that don't make a whole lot of sense. You've got a quarterback situation that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Luke Getsy is, I mean, I'll be as kind as I can be. He looks completely clueless. If you're telling me Aiden O'Connell, who I just saw against the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you think that's better than Gardner Minshew, you're out of your mind. And Minshew's not been good. Aiden O'Connell's not better. You can't run. Alexander Madison just had, I think, the best running game they've had all year, and it was just a little bit. There's just not much here.
No.
There's not much here. I think they have more talent than a lot of the teams beneath them. I don't know where you go from here because I don't feel like you can pull the plug on Antonio Pierce in a year. But, man, all that hubris and all that bravado, that's all gone. And now you're just left with a guy that at the end of the day was the defensive coordinator at Arizona State. Not a very good one. And this is who you've entrusted your franchise to. You know, when it comes to coaches, I always ask one very basic question. How many teams in the NFL, if it was an opportunity, would trade their coach heads up for you? Can you name me a team? Because I can't. Even the Jacksonville Jaguars with Doug Peterson, I don't think they're signing up for Antonio Pierce.
No.
Even the Cleveland Browns with Kevin Stefanski, I don't think you're signing up for Antonio Pierce. You did what you had to do because the locker room was rallied around him, and you screwed this up with Rich Bisaccia a handful of years ago. But, I mean, the Raiders they're in purgatory.
But even at that point, I always thought that rah-rah approach, that locker room guy, to me, that's not a future. That's a stopgap. And you've had a stopgap at every point. And I still see Antonio Pierce as a stopgap. I mean, I know they made him the head
just
coach.
Think about how
clueless
just think about how clueless the management of this team has been. All right, so you had Derek Carr. Derek Carr was a piece that, was he great? No. He was kind of in that Kirk Cousins mold of, we know we have a quarterback. It's probably not a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but we have a winning quarterback. So you go out and get his guy, his college teammate, Devontae Adams. And this goes full circle. Well, you did that with John Gruden, and Gruden was going to revitalize all this, and then Gruden gets let go because he did bad things.
Right.
But then there was no plan. So you go out into the coaching market, you hire the biggest name you can think of, and at no point did you ever ask him, hey, how do you think your relationship with Derek Carr is going to go? You didn't ever think about the fact this is a guy that thinks he knows everything and is going to walk in here and just try to shoehorn this team into his mold. You've already spent the money and the draft capital on Devontae Adams, which then became sunk cost. He taps out on Derek Carr for Jimmy Garoppolo, which was a disaster. And you're just spinning. You're just circling the drain. It's like a dog chasing cars. You wouldn't know what to do with it if you caught it. But damn, when I see that hubcap, I want to bite it. That's the Raiders in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You are a dog chasing cars. And until you have somebody, and hopefully it's Tom Telesco, I don't know. I know a lot of what happened in that front office search, and Tank just so happens to know that that's the truth.
Yeah.
And even that was weird. We all thought you were going one way, you were putting pieces in place to go one way, and then all of a sudden you don't tell anybody and you hire Tom Telesco. What?
Right.
What? And now he's stuck with Antonio Pierce, and it's bad ownership, it's bad management, and now it's a bad team. It's a talented team, but it's a bad team.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. Take a quick break for the top of the hour here. Your bottom 6 teams in the Week 7 power rankings will continue up next.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere. And when we say listeners, we mean 9 out of 10 Americans monthly. From the car to the gym to the kitchen, from the morning commute to evening ride home, your next customer is listening to the radio, to podcasts, to us. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how your ads are working in real time. That's right, not only can audio give your business the lift you need, at iHeartMedia, we can measure as we go, so you can see the impact and know exactly what's working. This goes for broadband messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Your next customer is listening. Start talking to them and start growing your business with iHeartMedia. Call today, 833-IHEART-U. That's 833-IHEART, letter U. Dial 833-IHEART-U.
Cullowhee is the place to be on Saturday, November 2nd, as WCU football takes on Chattanooga for homecoming. Come cheer on the Catamounts in what is the 50th anniversary of E.J. Whitmire Stadium, as WCU takes the Mocs in a SoCon showdown. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. Kickoff is at 2:30 p.m. on the beautiful campus of Western Carolina University. For tickets, visit CatamountSports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Go Cats!
You're busy. We get it. Life moves fast and there's hardly a moment to breathe. But for the next 10 seconds, this is your time. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, exhale. Feeling a little lighter? Taking action is one of the most powerful forms of self-care. In 2024, voting is self-care. Visit rockthevote.org and take action in just 3 easy steps. Check your registration, check in with yourself, and check your voting plan. Visit rockthevote.org.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, good-looking Tuesday afternoon, and as I've been saying, really not much going on in terms of precipitation over the next few days, maybe the next 7 days or longer. Looking at a northwest breeze and sunshine and chilly weather this afternoon, 58. Tonight down to about 35 with a few clouds around and quite breezy. Tomorrow, breezy and chilly to start, sunshine and cool in the afternoon with that northwest breeze, 52. Will feel cooler. Thursday, some frost in the morning as we're going to start off near 30 with 20s in some spots. Sunny later, high 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Apple Tree Superstore.
Hurry in now to Apple Tree Acura for deals on the full lineup of 2024 Acuras, including the RDX, MDX, and Integra. Apple Tree Acura is committed to offering you professional service and a great experience. Shop online at AppleTreeSuperstore.com and in person, I-26 and Airport Road, Asheville.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt. Just check out some of their Google reviews.
One user writes, I'd been avoiding visiting the dentist for years due to poor experiences in the past. I had quite a few visits and procedures at Summit in the last year, and each and every one was made comfortable by the staff that work there. They're all kind and compassionate and take extra time to make sure your comfort level is right where it should be. Summit Dental in Asheville. Call them today, 828-277-6868 or online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
Do you need help recovering from the recent disaster? FEMA may be able to help, but you have to apply. In addition to the money for food, water, and medicine, you may be able to receive support for housing, home repairs, business supplies, school supplies, and more. If you're in a county approved for FEMA individual assistance, go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. Apply for disaster assistance today.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy, also heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and you can join us in the chat for this
Power Rankings Tuesday.
I didn't want to say it because I knew I was just going to be chastised for saying it wrong. My throat hurts so much. I think I might be getting sick. It's either that or 3 straight weeks of just talking nonstop. It's taking its toll. I'm a little weak voiced, so I can't even fake to scream right now, or I might lose it all. Welcome into Power Rankings Tuesday. If you're just joining us, we've gone through the bottom 6 teams in the NFL. Starting at 32, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New England Patriots, Carolina Panthers, Tennessee Titans, Cleveland Browns, and the Las Vegas Raiders.
I like to call that the dazed and confused tier. You know what I like about 18-year-old girls? I keep getting older. They stay the same age. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And that brings us to number 26 on the Week 7 Power Rankings.
This is the first team that I actually could see a possibility that maybe you find a way back into the conversation.
Ooh.
The Miami Dolphins.
When is Tua coming back?
I don't know that there's been a more important game in the NFL than this week for the Miami Dolphins going to Indianapolis with Tyler Huntley playing quarterback. If you don't win this game, you are in trouble. Because you still have to play you play the Bills in 3 weeks. You got the Cardinals right before that. That is at home. That should be a win. Mm-hmm. You're going to catch a markedly healthier Rams team. Get the Raiders and the Patriots. And then you end the season at the Packers, Jets, at the Texans, 49ers, at the Browns, at the Jets. I don't care if Tua is playing or not. You need every win you can possibly get. And if they lose to the Colts, the season's over.
Yeah. There's no path for you to roll off that many wins.
No, because you have to get to some point where, and you know, I'm not a medical professional by any stretch of the imagination, but at some point you have to look around and go, why would we bring him back? All right, you lose to the Colts, you're 2-4. You got a game at the Bills. I got news for you. I don't care if he plays or not. You're not beating them.
Mm-hmm.
So that make you 2-5. Best case scenario, you'd be 3-5 with that daunting schedule. At some point, you just have to shut him down and go, this is not the year.
Right.
We're committed to him. We got to think about the long-term future. I get it with Tyreek. I get it with Jalen Waddle, but we got to think about the future. And I'm not sure that a loss to the Colts doesn't cement that. A loss to the Colts and the Cardinals certainly does, but a loss this week goes a long way.
So he's not eligible to return until Week 8.
Yes.
Against the Cardinals. And
it's already basically been said he ain't coming back in Week 8 either.
I was going to say Mike McDaniel's on the record as saying he does expect him to play again at some point this season. But the question would be,
Why?
If you get that far and the playoffs are out of reach, why even try?
If you go into that game with the Packers and you are 500 or worse, just shut him down.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not making the playoffs. I got news for you. You're not beating all of those teams to get into the playoffs. It's just not going to happen. This team's not as good in cold weather anyway. Tua's not as good in cold weather anyway. And, I mean, if he catches another one, then the decision's probably going to be taken out of your hands.
Is part of you shocked that they still can't score, though? I mean, even with all the talent that they have on that team, you would think that they'd be able to average more than like 9 points a game.
The best way I can explain that is the difference between the elite of the elite quarterbacks. The Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud. The drop-off from those guys to the next tier is a chasm.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the mid-tier guys, which I would say are the Jared Goffs, the Aaron Rodgers. I'm trying to think of guys off the top of my head. Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts.
Carr.
No, that's another tier.
Okay.
Then you got to drop off to that next tier, which is Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield. Once you get past that, now you're talking about the Grand Canyon. That's one of the great fallacies of the NFL. There are only about 25 guys on this planet that are really good enough to be NFL starting quarterbacks, and there are 32 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to a point where you're ripping off the trash heap because you had Skylar Thompson as your backup. Bet you miss White Mike now. Never should have cut Jet legend White Mike.
I was going to say still kudos to the Bills for snaking him.
Yeah, because then it stuck you with Skylar Thompson and Tyler Huntley.
Right.
And even with 2 weeks, I'll still take the Colts. I don't know what the line on that game is, but in Indianapolis, I'll bet you it's pretty significant. I'm looking now.
Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers are dead set on Russell Wilson. Maybe the Dolphins can make a play for Justin Fields.
Indianapolis is a 3.5-point favorite. Good Lord, that feels like the layup of the year. Indy with Joe Flacco against Tyler Huntley.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I don't often make picks on Tuesday, but that one's feeling awful neighborly.
Right. And they're in Miami at number 26, number 25.
The Denver Broncos. Okay, Denver fans, buddies, we're going to call this a Shontervention. You suck on ice. You just do. But we're 3-3. Okay, let's burrow down into that 3-3, shall we? You got to get a win against the Jets in a monsoon where your starting quarterback had 7 less yards than I did at halftime. You got a win against the Buccaneers that was very impressive, and you beat the Raiders. You got shellacked by the Chargers. You couldn't move the ball against the Steelers. And I don't know how you kept it so close with the Seahawks. Still not good. Let's play a game. We'll play a fun game, just see how close you can get on this.
Okay.
The leading rusher right now for the Denver Broncos is who?
Jaleel McLaughlin.
It's Javonte Williams.
Okay.
By 23 yards over Bo Nix.
Nice.
You don't run the ball consistently well. You look at the weapons, and it's a lot of Devon Vale, little Jordan Humphrey, Josh Reynolds. You play defense pretty well. That's it. You have a quarterback that at times looks completely clueless. He does that thing, and I'm gonna coin this term one day. I just haven't come up with a good term for it yet. The little pirouette that quarterbacks do when pressure ensues, and they spin their back to the defense. I have never seen a good quarterback do that. Lamar Jackson will do it every once in a while, but he's a 4-3 guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I give him a little platitude. Bo Nix is not. And you mark my words that this is coming because it's happened to practically every guy I've ever seen do this. One of these days, you're going to do that little pirouette, and there's going to be a linebacker coming from that direction, and you're going to feel like you just got hit by a semi.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a good quarterback. He never was a good quarterback. He never was a first-round pick. He never should have been a first-round pick. You have tied yourself to this, and now you are stuck in it. This is like pooping your pants on a playground and having to, or on a golf course and having to play out the last 18 holes. The problem is you're only on the first green, so it's going to be a pretty unappealing next 17 holes. Sorry to tell you.
But, I mean, they play the Saints. They've got the Panthers after that.
They're a favorite against the Saints, which might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I don't know. I mean, the Saints play the way that they did against
Going
the
into
Bucs.
New Orleans? Okay, play the way they had the lead on you in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
It fell apart in the fourth because
Absolutely.
Spencer Rattler had to start doing things. And we'll talk about New Orleans when we get there, but that's dumb. That quarterback going on the road and beating anybody, sign me up.
At number 24.
The Indianapolis Colts. I don't know how good you are at math, but how many NFC teams have I said to this point?
One.
It's the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah.
8 of the 9 bottom teams in the NFL to me play in the AFC. This is why my whole tenor on the Jets has changed.
Right.
Because I look at all of these teams and go, what's your high side? Okay, for Indianapolis, what is the high side for this team, honestly?
I mean, where they're at.
3-3.
I mean, a 500 record is about the high side.
They haven't won a non-one-score game yet.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize how cyclical those things are, right?
Sure.
Those are coin flip games. You got the Dolphins this week. Have you looked at what they play after that?
Ooh.
At the Texans, at the Vikings, Bills, at the Jets, and the Lions.
True.
They will lose 5 straight games, and this team will be completely irrelevant. And please leave Joe Flacco in. I am saying this as I don't want you to be terrible. You put Anthony Richardson in against that, and you will be embarrassed 5 times in a row.
Yep.
I still think this build is very good. And look, Chris Ballard's a really smart GM. That team's not built well right now. Your receiving core is
ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love Michael Pittman Jr. Is it weird to you that he's way better with Joe Flacco than he is with Anthony Richardson? Because he shouldn't be.
No.
A guy that doesn't separate doesn't do well with a quarterback that's not very accurate. Alec Pierce, he's a deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
He's averaging 28 yards a catch right now. That's non-sustainable. I love Josh Downs. But without Jonathan Taylor, you can't do squat. The fact you won a game with Trey Sermon and Tyler Goodson in your backfield is borderline comical to me.
I like a lot of pieces for this team.
On defense, I like nothing.
But I don't know that – I just don't know that the coaching is that good.
I love Shane Steichen. I think he's a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
Gus Bradley has this heavy zone thing, and you don't have the pieces for that. I mean, teams are killing you. You want a fun DFS play for this week? Tyreek Hill obliterates zone coverage.
Even with Tyler Huntley?
I don't care.
Okay.
I think they're going to put up yards. That defense is awful. And then when you start going up against Justin Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown and all the different players that you have to take on, good luck. Yeah, it worked against Caleb Williams, and it worked against Justin Fields, and it worked against Will Levis. You know who it's not going to work against? C.J. Stroud and Sam Darnold and Josh Allen and Jared Goff and Aaron Rodgers. And by the time you lose those 5 games, the season's over anyway.
Well,
they have a cushy end to the season.
I was going to say, and then at that point, you have a chance to backslide into the playoffs,
and I
maybe.
don't think they will.
By
that
winning
time,
every game.
You lose 5 games in a row, you have to turn back to Anthony Richardson, and then you're irrelevant anyway.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis Colts, on sheer talent alone, could be a playoff team with Joe Flacco. They won't be because you're tied to a guy that you took at 3, and you cannot leave him sitting forever.
Right. Indianapolis Colts, number 24. And number 23.
The New York Football Giants.
Okay, so are you feeling better about the Giants after the last couple of weeks? Because it would appear that they're not completely terrible.
They're not awful.
Right. Well, I mean, I think they're still awful. I think we're still in the awful tier of teams here.
No, there's that Jacksonville Jaguar team is a whole different breed of awful. Look, the Giants stay in games. They got blown out by the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, they've basically played 5 one-score games. You won 2 of them. You beat a Seahawks team in Seattle that's a reasonably impressive win. And I won't be shocked if they beat the Eagles in New York this week. I won't be shocked at all because I don't think there's a huge difference.
No.
If Daniel Jones can continue to play the way he's playing right now within himself, he's not doing anything special, but he's not turning the ball over at an alarmingly high rate. This team just has a lack of talent. But I will say this. If I was a Giants fan, I would feel okay about Brian Daboll. I think I would give him another year with a quarterback that he actually chose, as opposed to what we've thrust on you with Daniel Jones.
The problem that I have with that, though, is are you going to start a rookie quarterback right with the last possible year of a head coach? How many times have we seen that blow up in teams' faces?
You said rookie. I didn't.
Oh, I know. But if you're going to be drafting high in the draft, I think you would be expected to.
I don't.
Where is that guy coming from?
I don't.
Are you swinging a deal with Minnesota for J.J. McCarthy?
That's the one that's made the most sense to me, is that J.J. McCarthy is going to be a great trade chip for Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Sam E.D., MVP. I haven't got a chance to say that in a while.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that clearly would be. If things continue, that clearly is not going to be a change.
No, that's not going to be a change, period.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about that when we get to Minnesota. But
sure.
Look, you're going to have a lot of guys that are looking for a second act. Just think about the quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson could be one.
Mm-hmm.
I would like him way better with Brian Daboll than I do with Kevin Stefanski. Will Levis, we talked about earlier. J.J. McCarthy, you just mentioned. There are more than that of guys that could be looking for a second act because they get knocked off by rookies. Brian Daboll got a lot out of Daniel Jones, and I don't think he can play dead in the Western.
Yeah, there's only one potential option for me in that scenario. Like, I don't feel like Deshaun Watson is an option for anybody.
I don't either. He was just a name.
Sure.
Some of these guys are going to hit the market.
J.J. McCarthy, that would be where my eyes are set.
Will Levis is where my eyes would be set. But
yeah.
That's because I love the way he would fit into that.
Mm-hmm. But you can't. But I don't feel like you could sell that. I really don't think you could sell. We're moving on from Daniel Jones, but we're bringing in Will Levis. So everything's going to be
how
fine.
you sell it?
How?
Play nothing but highlight reels of Josh Allen in year 3 with Brian Daboll. This would be year 3 for Will Levis. They're built exactly the same, and they have a lot of the same problems.
Yeah.
I have a system that's
and he's got a
custom
superstar
made.
wide receiver.
Yeah.
He would have Malik Neighbors built in. So maybe
I've got it. This is his Stephon Diggs. He is my Josh Allen, and I'm telling you, if I was the GM right now of the New York Giants, I would be trying to make that deal as we speak. Because you could get Brian Callahan to sign off on it of, hey, you know what? This season's over.
Yep.
We're going to be terrible with Mason Rudolph. We'll give you Will Levis for a song. Admit we screwed up, and we'll have the number 1 pick in this draft. I know it sounds crazy. I'd make the call. You'd have to tell me no.
It is a Power Ranking Tuesday here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We'll pick it up with number 22 after this on ESPN Asheville.
High prices are like a money vacuum sucking your wallet dry.
No!
But don't fret, you could win our inflation vacation. $1,000 to ease your money woes. Woo-hoo! Listen for chances to win every weekday.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop.
That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no. So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
The free iHeartRadio app has over 100 commercial-free original stations waiting for you to explore right now, like Southern Rock Ride. The greatest Southern rock hits from the 70s and 80s. Skinner, 38 Special, Allman Brothers, and more. Open the free iHeartRadio app, search Southern Rock Ride, and listen now. Free never sounded so good.
You're busy. We get it. Life moves fast and there's hardly a moment to breathe. But for the next 10 seconds, this is your time. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Inhale, exhale. Feeling a little lighter? Taking action is one of the most powerful forms of self-care. In 2024, voting is self-care. Visit rockthevote.org and take action in just 3 easy steps. Check your registration, check in with yourself, and check your voting plan. Visit rockthevote.org.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, ain't that?
You know, the world might just be a better place if we could listen to this song over and over again.
The world needs Creed.
It does.
Need ends in EED, so does Creed. We need Creed. There it is.
Look at that.
Boom.
Look at that. Welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Just a reminder, if you are looking to help out in the hurricane relief effort, to go to heartswithhands.org. That is just Jeremy asked me yesterday, Are we getting paid to say that? No,
I didn't
we're
ask
not.
if we were. I knew I was.
He said, are we getting paid to say that? No, we're not. Hearts with Hands does some amazing work and has done amazing work for years and years and years. Greg Lentz and Ralph Sexton Ministries has always stepped up to the aid of other communities around the nation. And now they're having to step up for our own community, and we want to show them as much support as possible. And so right now, the most important thing that you can do from outside the area is give your dollars to the hurricane relief efforts. So, yes, the Red Cross is a good place to donate as well. But if you want to keep your dollars local, make sure that they stay local. Heartswithhands.org is the best place to go,
now,
in my opinion.
And in fairness, you left out part of that because you made me sound like a jackass there. I asked that so I wouldn't step on you not because I cared.
I was just curious where that.
Yeah, here's a
where
little
that
inside baseball. The paid things, Tank has to record them, and if I promo something else on the other side of it, then the recording doesn't count.
Could be.
That's why I asked that.
Could be.
And the reason I asked that is because we are also doing our own charitable donation with DC Streams. If you sign up for DC Streams, we have a Google form that I will post in the YouTube chat. It will also be on our Facebook. This is how we watch Sunday Ticket. It is cheaper. It is legal. It is all of those things. It is Fire Stick related, and our guys at DC Streams have pledged the next 100 signups. They will be donating all of the proceeds to Hurricane Helene relief efforts that we get to determine where it goes. I'll give you a hint. These two things probably do have something very closely related to each other.
Probably.
Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, probably so. We do have a super chat that we need to get to before we continue with the Week 7 NFL Power Rankings.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
And it comes
See,
to
I
us.
like that better.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, I do like that one better. Great North Sports. Upside, I saw my team throw actual touchdown passes. The downside, we still suck. P.S. Sam Darnold MVP.
Sammy D, MVP.
From our good friend Armchair Commentary, who is a New England Patriots fan. So it was good to see Drake May out there, leading the drive before half. It looked pretty sharp.
Sure did. Yeah, look, Drake's going to be fine. Just take some time.
Yep. Back into the power rankings here. Number 22.
The Arizona Football Cardinals.
Good or bad?
Well, I said we were out of the awful tier. I didn't say we were out of the bad tier.
Okay.
You got your keisters kicked by the Green Bay Packers. They just have a talent deficiency.
And now that Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the concussion protocol, that means they're going to take a hit for at least a week, probably.
He got kneed in the noggin.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona is going to be that feisty little team that plays with everybody and beats very few of them.
Yep.
I mean, it's really that cut and dry. To me, Arizona is the team that makes the most sense in the NFL. You play so hard, but you look up and down that roster, there are guys playing on that team that I could make the argument shouldn't even be in the NFL, let alone starting. And that just takes time. It just takes time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have hit on some of these guys. Trey McBride is a hit. Marvin Harrison Jr. was obvious.
He's a star, yeah.
But then you look on the defense. Your defensive line, Red Sea said this to us 1,000 times in the offseason. The defensive line's terrible. It is terrible. They're awful. The secondary is awful. And so you just wind up getting into track meet games with Michael Wilson and Greg Dortch and James Conner. You're at a huge disadvantage there, and your offensive line needs work.
No.
So it's tough, but you should feel good that I think you did get the coach right, and moving forward, I think you'll be in better shape when you have the horses to actually contend.
Yeah. I don't like your chances going up against the Chargers this week. I think they run the ball down your throat.
Correct. We have another super chat-ish.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Great North Sports just gifted 5 memberships to the Sportsocracy
Awesome.
YouTube channel to 5 members who were in the chat. When people do that, you have to be in the chat to get those because it just automatically links you. So we thank our great Canadian friend, David Smith, Armchair Commentary, Great North Sports. I bet his email signature is like 8 lines long. By the way, you sent me an email. You didn't know you sent it because I sent it to myself.
Uh-huh.
We got to work on your email signature, bro.
Why?
Because that little loopy, little cutesy, girly font that you have.
It's just the default.
Bro.
Whatever was on the default thing.
Yeah, I need you to never, ever send an email with that at the end of it, ever again.
Look, I figured out how to set an email signature.
And I'm proud of you for that.
I was going to say, I think I should get points for that. Changing the font on it? It's above my pay grade.
Okay, so I want you to understand what you just said to me. I set an email signature. That would be like you looking at me and saying, I put my pants on today. I should get credit for that.
Yes.
Or we should all know how to do that because you're 41 years old, not 141 years old.
I don't like computers. You know that. That's why I use sticky notes. I love my Post-its.
Those aren't allowed in here, and you know that. Your sticky note privileges have been rescinded.
At number 21.
The Los Angeles Rams. I still think this is not a bad team, but you're just killed injury-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And until they come back to some form of health, this is where you belong.
And what's the timeline?
I don't know.
Cooper Kupp could come back this week against the Raiders.
One of the servers I use that streamlines all of these things, the list of injured Rams is bigger than my computer screen. It's not saying all of them aren't going to play, but they're all on the injury report.
Mm-hmm.
And that's coming off a bye. They got problems in the secondary. I do think you hit on Braden Fisk, and I know you hit on Jared Verse. But I'm not sure that this isn't going to be one of those years like we had with San Francisco all those years ago where you've got so many injuries, there's nothing you can do.
Right. You don't have an offensive line. You don't have any weapons right now.
The line is brutal.
And you got 4 guys that came in as starters on this offensive line that are on injured reserve right now.
The bad thing?
You've been absolutely killed.
The bad thing is that the line, even when it's healthy, hasn't been good. And it's been markedly worse when it wasn't healthy. But, I mean, Kevin Dotson hasn't been good this year. Rob Havenstein hasn't been really good this year.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Bruss, who Sean McVay tried to convince me was the number 1 player on their board. Don't say stupid things, okay? Don't do that.
But when you take out Noteboom...
I don't even look at other women. My wife is the only woman... Open that web browser and walk away.
Right.
When that flop sweat hits your forehead, I'll know you're lying.
But when you take out Noteboom, and you take out Jackson... and you take out Steve Avila, right? The rest of the line clearly is going to suffer.
Oh, it's
brutal. Because neither of the guys that you just mentioned are cornerstone pieces.
Kevin Dotson is.
Is he?
Kevin Dotson is one of the best guards. Was one of the best guards in the league. And this year, he's been mediocre to bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that could be what's around him.
That's what I'm saying.
Rob Havenstein looks his age.
All right, when I have no help around me, how can you expect me to still be good? But they will get healthier at some point, and maybe they can salvage something. But the question is, how long does that go? I mean, you're thankful at this point that you got the Raiders, the Seahawks, the Dolphins, and the Patriots as 4 of your next 5 games. That seems pretty manageable.
That could get you healthy coming off a bye.
You get 1 game with the Minnesota Vikings at home, which is going to be interesting with the Kevin O'Connell.
I'll simplify this down. The Los Angeles Rams are the team that you better make sure is dead.
Yes.
The Dolphins and the Rams are the 2 that I look at and go, if you let them get healthy, they could be problematic and they could add another team to that playoff mix, which none of you want.
Mm-mm. No, because after the games that I mentioned, then they go Eagles-Saints, which is not daunting at this point.
Not really, no.
Bills-Niners-Jets, that'd be tough.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals-Seahawks to end. There's still a lot of wins there possible if this team can get healthy.
The Rams,
it's just asking a lot.
And I would give credit to whoever put out this list, but in terms of teams that control their own fate, no team controls their own fate in the NFL better than the Los Angeles Rams because they play so many teams that they will be in direct competition with for a wild card spot.
Right. We'll take a break here in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville. We'll get to number 20 on the list, and I think it might ruffle some feathers, although here in the Sportsocracy, we don't have high hopes for this team anyway. They make a lot of news. They make a lot of headlines, but we won't spend much time on them because, well, they are still on conversation probation. You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, good-looking Tuesday afternoon, and as I've been saying, really not much going on in terms of precipitation over the next few days, maybe the next 7 days or longer. Looking at a northwest breeze and sunshine and chilly weather this afternoon, 58. Tonight down to about 35 with a few clouds around and quite breezy. Tomorrow, breezy and chilly to start, sunshine and cool in the afternoon with that northwest breeze, 52. Will feel cooler. Thursday, some frost in the morning as we're going to start off near 30 with 20s in some spots. Sunny later, high 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by United Federal Credit Union.
This is Matt Sorrells at United Federal Credit Union here in Asheville. We're here for our community following the devastation of Hurricane Helene. To see how we can help, you can visit unitedfcu.com/North Carolina Relief or call 888-982-1400, insured by NCUA.
Deep in the back of your mind, you've always had the feeling that there's something strange about reality. There is. Stuff to Blow Your Mind, an iHeart podcast that dives deep into the mysteries of the universe. With more than 2,500 episodes ready to listen, Stuff to Blow Your Mind will guide you through the strange, the bizarre, and the mind-blowing. Listen to Stuff to Blow Your Mind on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff to Blow Your Mind to start listening.
This is an ad by BetterHelp Online Therapy. October is the season for wearing masks and costumes, but some of us feel like we wear a mask and hide more often than we want to. At work, in social settings, around our family. Therapy can help you learn to accept all parts of yourself, so you can stop hiding and take off the mask. Because masks should be for Halloween fun, not for your emotions. Whether you're navigating workplace stresses, complex relationships, or family dynamics, therapy is a great tool for facing your fears and finding a way to overcome them. If you're thinking of starting therapy but you're afraid of what you might uncover, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Take off the mask with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/takecare today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/takecare.
If you and your friends and family were impacted by the recent disaster and are in one of the communities approved for individual assistance from FEMA, you can apply for disaster assistance. Go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Back in the Sportsocracy on a Power Ranking Tuesday.
I'll let you get by with it there because I still had a swallow a honey bun left.
He's trying to choke down that fat treat.
You know,
it's gonna be rough.
The people of Western North Carolina were so good to us, and they brought so much food in here. And you know, here's what I've learned about a man that weighs 300 pounds and has for a long time. If you put sugary crap in front of me, I will jam it in my mouth at a speed that is usually reserved for car wrecks and plane takeoffs.
He really loves honey buns.
I do. I love honey buns. It's cinnamon rolls. Basically, take bread, put liquid sugar on it, and let me go nom, 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 nom as quick as I can.
Not big on the chocolate, but he does love a honey bun.
I only like chocolate if it's encapsulating delicious Reese's peanut butter.
That's a good call.
Now that I will fight you like a man. I will back alley hooboo fight you over a Reese's.
I was gonna say, did you get some of the mountain that we left in there for Eddie?
No one told me of this.
The little somebody gave us a whole bag of those little mini.
They're so good.
Reese cups in there.
The funny thing about Reese's is every different delivery system is a different level of awesome.
Okay.
The little minis have the nice edges that are just wonderful.
Yeah, that thicker chocolate. Yeah.
The bigger Reese cup has the big thing of peanut butter in the middle that's just. Then you get into the trees and the eggs. It's all.
And the big cups. The big cups with the Reese Pieces in them. I love that.
That's about the only one I don't like.
Really?
Yeah.
Love Reese Pieces.
Well, here's what I don't understand. Why the one that had actual peanuts in it never took off. Because that was a treat that's hard to beat.
I like the one that they put the cookie in, too. They had one that was like a cookie crunch in the middle of it.
I never saw that, and you would know, because if I had, I probably wouldn't be here.
I think it had like an Oreo or something in the bottom of it, and it was really... But it was just the cookie. It wasn't then like the marshmallow stuff.
Oreos are fine, but they're not cookies. They're Oreos, okay? If you tell me, hey, I got you a cookie, and you hand me an Oreo, I am going to slap you. I will challenge you to a duel.
Really?
It's not a cookie. It's an
a
Oreo.
Cookie.
And I get it, an Oreo cookie. I get it. You say cookie, and in my head, I think warm, soft, doughy chocolate chip cookie, and then you hand me an Oreo, and I'm like, all right, well, I bought you a car. Go drive that shopping cart out there. You jackass.
Oreos, the shopping cart of cookies. I think that feels like a T-shirt.
That's a promo for sure.
All right, back into the power rankings for Week 7 in the NFL. At number 20, the Dallas Cowboys.
You had already basically said it,
and then
so
I guess
felt
we
like
just
you
move
should.
on. Like, I mean, they're conversation probation, right? We just have to move on.
I don't want to talk about them because you're irrelevant.
I guess. I mean, your owner is losing his mind.
They're the Florida Gators of the NFL.
Yeah, did you see what he did on his radio show today?
No.
Oh, he basically threatened to fire the radio hosts at 105.3 down in Dallas. He was on the show, and they started asking him, what are you going to do to fix it? And he's like, I'm not sitting here going through every decision that I've ever made with you on this radio
That's
station.
Ross Perot. You're doing Jerry Jones wrong. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Don't have to. I'm Jerry Jones. I own the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
I don't have to do that.
He just spun into circles with these guys talking
I just
about
love that your impression of Jerry Jones. Can I finish?
Can I finish? That's what he sounds like to me.
H. Ross Perot.
Yeah. And I feel
Look,
like Jerry Jones at 82 years old is finally feeling the pressure that everybody's put on him for 30 years.
This is a man who at 84 years old made a slew of people go, I didn't know you could use the word pickle that way. You're shocked by things that he's saying now.
Yep.
Really? He's like your delusional grandpa that you just want to make sure he doesn't say any of the really bad things. Like, don't say any of the things that you say when the door's closed because grandpa's losing it. And he's the GM of the football team.
Well, there's because he's in a position where there is no answer to this. There's no fixing this. There's no coach that you can go get that's going to bring this team back to life.
Oh, there's a fix. We just don't want to talk about it.
Him stepping down, but that's not going to happen. I just don't believe. Jerry Jones will die.
Oh, for sure.
Before he gives up full control of
sure.
this team. He's not going to just hand it over to Steven and go, I'm retiring to the yacht and I'll never say anything about this team again.
Unless he gets Vince McMahon. That's the only.
And with his past, you never know. That could happen.
Totally aside, but I would rather talk about this than the Dallas Cowboys. Did you watch the Vince McMahon documentary?
Not yet.
God, he's creepy.
I think we started it and then I fell asleep.
God, he's creepy.
And
that dude should use bleach as body wash. You are so disgusting. Like even the way you speak, I'm like, oh God, I need to take a bath.
Shocker of shockers, a former bodybuilder turned ultimate showman turned billionaire was a little creepy behind the scenes with his female talent. No,
he also has a weird mustache.
Oh, stop.
You need to get rid of that
Yeah,
Vincent Price
no.
because that is a terrible look. Okay.
That makes you look like even more of a creep.
There are 2 people on this planet, 3, that are allowed to wear a mustache and it can never go anywhere. Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott, Mullet Senior. That's it.
Rick would look weird.
I have never seen him without one, and I don't want to.
Yeah. He would look very weird. I could see that.
Alan Shepard, too.
Yeah, you can't touch
nope,
that one.
Can't touch
Sam
that one.
Elliott all falls into the same
For
category.
sure.
At number 19, Dallas Cowboys coming in at number 20. Number 19.
The Seattle Seahawks. Hey, you remember the last time we talked about them?
I was going to say, so glad you did the member thing.
You remember when we talked about them? They're bad. I told you they were bad, and then they showed that they were bad. Seattle is the Pittsburgh Steelers of years past. You can beat bad teams. You can also let bad teams beat you because your quarterback is not any good. And if anything were to ever happen to DK Metcalf, may God have mercy on your souls because it would be a train wreck.
And I'm not sure this team doesn't just continually get their feelings hurt for the rest of the season.
I am curious, and I was curious going into the year, and I'm even more curious now. At what point do you look at it and go, we got to give Sam Howell a look?
Oh, after you get killed over the next 2 games by the Falcons and the Bills. Then, God forbid, Cooper Kupp, and I don't know what Puka's timeline is like. Is he going to be back in the next 3 weeks possibly? But if you start getting some of those Rams guys back, that game's not going to be fun. And then you go to the 49ers, who've already beaten you. And they could be healthier by then. It's not going to be fun for you. You still have the Packers and the Vikings. 2 with the Rams, a healthier Rams, another one with the 49ers. It's just too much stacking against you. Yeah. And you already lost to the Giants, for God's sakes.
Look, it's not a good team. You can want it to be a good team all you want to, but you're realizing now how much of a role Pete Carroll actually had. Everybody wanted to complain about him, and he was so out of touch by the end. He made Russell Wilson's career. Not even as an offensive guy, just the system he put in place. He built a program that was conducive to developing talent. You don't have that now. And I think Mike McDonald is a fine coach, and he will be fine down the line. You ain't there because you don't have a quarterback. Geno Smith, I've never been wrong on him. You can quote at me every game log, everything you want to. He is not a winning quarterback. He never has been. He never will be. And we've been doing this since I was in college. Okay? I've been doing this since he was at West Virginia. I've always found it comical that Seahawk fans look at him over the last 3 years and you think you know him better than I do. Dog, I've been doing this since you were in diapers. He's never going to fool me. Ever. Because he's never stopped being the same guy. You put him in a better situation, the result gets better. He didn't get better. He stopped getting hit because the line got a little better, the scheme got a little better, and he didn't look like an absolute abject disaster. He was never good. At any point, never in this whole scenario has he been a good NFL quarterback. He has lost you more games than he has won you. And that's where you are. And I'm not going to apologize for it. It is what it is. But maybe, listen to the guy that's been doing this with him for 15 years. I got a pretty good handle on Geno Smith.
Number 18.
Oh, that's a thing I have to
That
do.
is you.
It was one of my first tirades back. It felt good. Felt natural. New Orleans Saints! Speaking of situations that are not good.
I was going to say, Spencer Rattler. He had a good second quarter. Did you feel like the rest of the game was good for him?
I feel like I saw out of Spencer Rattler what I thought he would. I mean, I played him in DraftKings for a reason. He's not an untalented kid. The problem is that he's got one speed. And the more tape you get on him, the easier to scout him it becomes. Because he's going to force things. It's just what he does. He did it at South Carolina. He did it at Oklahoma. He did it on Sunday. When Derek Carr comes back, this team will be passable. They're killed injury-wise. The defense is not very good. And Dennis Allen is a terrible coach. Terrible. How he is still employed, I will never understand. The book on this was written 3 years ago. And you just keep lathering up and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And New Orleans has done it for I feel like he's been there for 10 years. I know he hasn't.
Right.
But it feels that way.
And this week they get a short week to turn it around against the Denver Broncos.
And they will shellac Denver.
You think so?
I do. That's what New Orleans does. You know they have the ability. If I had a wager, I would say Dennis Allen really simplifies the game plan, Sean Payton really overcomplicates it, and Bo Nix beats himself. That's how I think it's going to go.
I don't know how you can – I don't know. I mean, it's going to be an emotional game. Right, Sean Payton going back to New Orleans. I think this is one of those where you see the difference. Sean Payton will outcoach Dennis Allen. Number 17.
These are the two closest teams in the NFL to me because I think you're the exact same team.
17 and 16?
17 and 18.
Oh, okay. New Orleans and?
The Philadelphia Eagles. Hey, you remember when I told you Jalen Hurts wasn't worth $55 million?
I do.
Yeah. You starting to see what I'm talking about? You starting to get it? Starting to get it when the team is a little thinner than they were in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith, and you had no Dallas Goedert. Really struggled with a mediocre defense that couldn't score. Because you can prop him up. But he's a second-tier quarterback, and he always will be.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing you can do. He's not a good thrower of the football. He's not a good decision-maker. He tries to do too much, and your little touche-poosh is cute. But, man, the luster on that's kind of gone away, hasn't it?
No doubt about it.
When you can't do anything else consistently, just think about the perception of that play. When you're humming along and the offense looks good and you're doing that on every 3rd and 1 and every 4th and 1, man, that's a really innovative play. When it's the only way you can get a ball across the first down marker, which is where you're at right now in way more situations than you should be, it makes you look like a moron. That's how I always saw it. So if you're angry at it now, just understand you're seeing it now how I saw it 3 years ago.
Right, when it was working.
Well, it's still working. It just doesn't quite look as – the offense isn't as dominant, so instead of looking innovative – this is kind of like the Wildcat. The Wildcat was innovative because nobody had ever done it. And then you really boil it down to brass tacks and go, so you don't have a quarterback is what you're telling me. You need to put 2 running backs out there because all you've got is sleight-of-hand magic. In Philadelphia, all you've got is a bunch of big burly dudes that push their bodybuilder quarterback across the line of scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
But if you get into a shootout, you brought a knife to a gunfight.
At number 16.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
Are they ever going to turn it around?
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Where would the Cincinnati Bengals be power rankings-wise if they had a quarterback not named Joe Burrow?
29.
I don't disagree with you.
They don't do
You go back
much
to the
of
Jake
anything.
Browning days, and I know that was because of an injury. I get it.
Right.
But if you were to, for some reason, have to go back to that, you're doomed. You're getting high-end elite quarterback play, and you're still struggling to beat the New York Giants. You're still 2-4.
Yep.
And if you look up and down that schedule, you still got to play 2 with the you still got to play 2 with the Pittsburgh Steelers and 1 with the Baltimore Ravens. Have you seen who they play outside of that? You got the Browns this week. I highly recommend you win this game because you've got the Eagles, Ravens, Chargers, Steelers at the Cowboys. That's 5 of your next 7. It's getting late early in Cincinnati. And I understand the defense is hurt. I'm not saying it's necessarily your fault. But this is where good teams find a second wind.
Yep.
And if you don't, you're going to be on the outside looking in.
No, you got to find a way to roll off 5 out of the next 6.
What is that way? I have my own theory on it. I just want to. If you were fixing the Cincinnati Bengals, you would do it how?
Oh Lord, I don't even know.
I got to start trying to shoot out with teams.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow's averaging 263 yards a game. I'm going to need that closer to 3 and some change.
340.
I've got to. I don't think it has to be that aggressive.
Right.
And even when I say that doesn't sound like a huge change. That is a philosophical change. Of you are spending a lot of time trying to grind out 4 yards a carry. By the way, stop playing Zach Moss. Chase Brown. I don't know why you're struggling to see this. It ain't that hard to see. He's the better running back. He should be the starting running back, and Zach Moss should be the complement.
Mm-hmm.
That would fix a big problem right off the jump. But he can't pass protect. Well, here's the thing. When you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Andrea Iashivas and Mike Gesicki and the other weapons you have, makes it a little less important.
I just don't know how to fix your defense. I feel like your offense is capable of shooting out with anybody.
I don't think you can. I think where you are at with the injuries and the loss, the DJ Reader thing, that was big.
Mm-hmm.
That was big, and now you've got Sheldon Rankins and B.J. Hill and just a slew of other guys. They're not good enough. You don't have the run stuffer in the middle of that defense. And so teams are going to be able to run on you, and your secondary is not good enough. You know, with no Dax Hill, it gets ugly in a hurry back there.
Yep. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville Week 7 Power Rankings. They'll continue after the top of the hour here on ESPN Asheville.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
If you snore or you have been diagnosed with sleep apnea, then you're not breathing adequately at night, and we all need a good night's sleep. A custom oral sleep appliance is perfect for people who can't use a CPAP for their obstructive sleep apnea. And if you have that prescription for an oral appliance from your physician, you can take it to Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, and they will do the rest. If you've not yet been diagnosed with sleep apnea, and maybe you think you have it, then Dr. Merrill is happy to help you out with a free sleep apnea screening. Find out more online at AshevilleSmiles.com. World-class dental care with a hometown feel.
In this week's Marketers Report, we learn about the value of local influencers in uncertain times. From Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of a tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, good-looking Tuesday afternoon, and as I've been saying, really not much going on in terms of precipitation over the next few days, maybe the next 7 days or longer. Looking at a northwest breeze and sunshine and chilly weather this afternoon, 58. Tonight down to about 35 with a few clouds around and quite breezy. Tomorrow, breezy and chilly to start, sunshine and cool in the afternoon with that northwest breeze, 52. Will feel cooler. Thursday, some frost in the morning as we're going to start off near 30 with 20s in some spots. Sunny later, high 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. As we're recovering from Hurricane Helene, count on Lowe's to help with cleanup and repair. With necessities like roofing, lumber, and electrical in the quantities you need. Visit Lowe's in-store or online to find out about relief efforts in your area or get emergency supplies now.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeart Radio app, and we are seen likewise on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat.
Still getting that timing back.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's all. Fine. It's all good. Welcome into the third hour of a Power Ranking Tuesday here in the Sportsocracy. And number 15.
The New York Football Jets.
You wanted to have them lower.
I did.
This.
I tried. I tried to have them lower. Who am I supposed to have them lower than? The Bengals, who can't stop a nosebleed? The Jets can at least stop the pass.
Mm-hmm.
The Eagles, whose defense looks like it's coordinated by Yosemite Sam and Elmer Fudd. The New Orleans Saints, who are completely bipolar. The Seahawks, who are just flat out not good. Or the Cowboys, who just got obliterated by the Lions.
Now, your offense has struggled through the first few games of the season, but last night, I mean, you had, 350 yards of offense? Moved the ball much better in the game last night. Just almost came up over in the scoring zone, in the red zone. So, I mean, there's obviously things to clean up with this team.
No doubt.
But now, with Devontae Adams coming in, there's no way that you can look at the Jets and go, this isn't going to get better. Of course it is.
Well, it's not even getting better. It's just you got to put it all together. You do have to figure out how to stop the run. And I don't know why you're struggling with it so bad. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
The offense, I told Amy at a point last night, I can go down this way. Not trying to cut block on at every instance, not just making these ridiculous play calls, a little pre-snap motion. Just show me a little something. And I saw that out of the offense last night. I do think this team's going to win the AFC East. And I do think this team's going to go to the playoffs. What happens there, I don't know. But they're too talented. And I do think Jeff Ulbrich was the right call. I think firing Robert Saleh was the right call. I think demoting Nathaniel Hackett was the right call.
Mm-hmm.
And we see where it goes from here. Do I think they're a Super Bowl team? No, I don't. No, I don't. I never did. If you go back, you can pull the tape. I never said that one time.
Right.
I said this was a playoff team, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And I see Buffalo right now as that is a thin team that can afford absolutely nothing to go wrong. the Jets can't afford much to go wrong. But they do have a schedule that's very manageable.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can figure out how to stop the run, they are very hard to throw on.
You got a thin team in front of you. And as we all know, it's hard to expect any team to go through an 18-game or an 18-week schedule and not slip up somewhere.
Well, you've got to clean up the penalties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the reason that you see teams that are penalized that often, and that's now happened to them a few times, is because you have a reputation for being grabby, or you have it, whether that's pass interference, holding, whatever the case may be. So they start looking for it a little harder, and you stop getting the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
You got to clean that up.
Now, last night, there were 22 penalties called in.
Last night, that crew should not be allowed to work another game this week.
I'd agree.
Because it was embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to let these guys play at some point. I even had Bills fans messaging me saying, this is untenable to watch.
Did you hear Aaron after the game? He was like, those roughing the passer penalties against Buffalo were crap. That's not pass interference. What did he say? We should be playing sarcastaball?
Do you know what that reference is?
It's a South Park reference.
I don't think I've ever seen anything in my life that surprised me less than Aaron Rodgers is a South Park guy. I heard that in the press conference and went, did he say what I think he just said?
He did. Throwing out the sarcastaball.
Sarcastaball. If you don't know, sarcastaball was a South Park bit in, I don't remember what season that was, that you gave hugs to tackle and they played it with a balloon so nobody would stub their little fingers.
Right.
That is a deep pull, bruh. And good for you.
Kudos to him.
Good for you.
Now, if only he can pull out some of that MVP magic that he used to have with Devontae Adams. Just show me a flash here or there.
Replacing Mike Williams with Devontae Adams, they would have beaten the Buffalo Bills last night.
Mm-hmm.
Because Devontae Adams would have known to not run into the safety. He would have come back, caught that ball. They would have been within field goal range. And look, you missed 2 field goals, that would have completely changed the game.
Yes.
And so did Buffalo.
And you had a touchdown called back on a holding call against Tyron Smith.
That was awful. Tyron Smith, I don't know what happened to you last night, but you get your stuff together, my friend, because that was a disaster.
New York Jets at 15. At number 14,
the Chicago Bears.
Caleb's looked better the last 2 weeks.
I don't think this team's good. I really don't. I do not think this team is good. They're the lowest ranked team in the power rankings in their own division, and it's by quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the rubber's going to meet the road here. I've seen Caleb Williams do this before. He can pick apart bad defenses. When it comes to, I've actually got to go make a play, not just make the play that is provided for me. He can make throws. You got to make a play. I think the rubber's going to meet the road there. I mean, I've heard people talk about, well, the race with Jaden Daniels and him is close. Watch that film and tell me that again. Because if you do, you don't know what you're looking at.
Yep.
Jaden Daniels is doing some high-level stuff. Caleb Williams is doing what is schemed for him. I mean, I'll just break it down for you as simply as I can. The best throw he made that Caleb Williams made against the Jacksonville Jaguars was a back shoulder throw to Keenan Allen where he never looked at another receiver. That was his one read, and he made a great throw, and Keenan Allen made a great catch. Conversely, Jaden Daniels had, I believe it was intended to be a flea flicker shot where the entire line broke down, and instead of panicking, he immediately dropped it off to Austin Eckler, who was probably not actually even in the progression, for a 35-yard gain.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen Caleb Williams do anything like that.
Right.
That's playing the quarterback position. That's making chicken salad out of chicken excrement. And Caleb Williams doesn't do that well.
And that will be the next game that we see, number 1 against number 2, as Chicago has the off week this week and then goes to the Washington Commanders. That defense is not very good. But
it's not very talented, but it's playing very well.
But can he shoot out with Jaden Daniels?
I don't know. He has a better defense. But that's a litmus test game for me.
Mm-hmm. Number 13.
Go Chargers, go!
Now, arrhythmias aside, this team, I mean, they're playing hardball ball. And it's kind of working.
Is it?
I mean, you're not going to be you're not gonna run the table or destroy the NFL doing this, but you can win a bunch of games.
What's the high side? You have a win over the Raiders, a win over the Panthers, and a win over the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
You played a game against the Chiefs where you were really never a threat. You played a game against the Steelers where you were really never a threat. So what's the high side? You keep beating up on bad teams. Well, good for you. You play 4 of them in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But then you go Bengals, Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Broncos, which I don't think the Broncos are a good team, but they're not as bad as these other teams that I'm talking about. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find a happy medium. J.K. Dobbins has been phenomenal for them. By the way, Kamani Vidal. Weird. Touchdown on his first NFL snap. Sure, it's just an accident. But you've got to get more out of Justin Herbert. He's thrown 125 passes in 6 games, or in 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
That's not NFL football. I mean, you're paying this guy $1 bajillion, and basically you're treating him right now like he is Daniel Jones. There's got to be a happy medium. I'm not saying you got to go back to that 50 passes a game offense that up and down the field with Kellen Moore, but you can't do this either because you're not going to beat good teams this way.
Right.
You're not beating Pat Mahomes this way. You're not beating Lamar Jackson this way. You're not hell, I'll go a step further. You're not beating Aaron Rodgers this way.
I don't know that anybody expects them to.
To me, the Chargers strike me as a team that will be about 9-8. They'll go into the playoffs. They'll play a very competitive game in the wild card round, and they'll go home.
Mm-hmm. And that's all I can ask you to be right now. Until you have the complete build. Right? Year 1, make the playoffs with this team. It seems right on schedule of where I thought you should be. No shame in that. No shame in a first-round exit with this team.
Yeah, Eamon reported, or Eamon, I'm not sure how to say that, said fact or fiction, the Chargers are a wild card team. I would say fact. I would say fact because the bottom half of the AFC is that bad.
Yep.
You're going to catch one of these teams that misses the playoffs. It's either going to be the Jets, the Chargers, or the Steelers. And the one I would say I feel the best about is the one with the best quarterback, and that's the Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
I also think they have the best coach.
Let's go to number 12.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Tampa Bay.
Did I do the pregnant pause well enough
that
there?
Was good. That was good. I like the suspense and all of that. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 4-2 so far on the year.
Mm-hmm. Go, just go. Just go.
Look, they're going to continue to do this. They're going to continue to be that, 1 game, 2 games over 500. They'll keep bouncing right there. And they got a chance to they got a chance to make the playoffs.
Fact or fiction, you're about to lose 4 games in a row.
Ooh, is it Ravens,
bad? Falcons at the Chiefs, 49ers.
Oh, I'll say false.
Because you think you're going to beat the Falcons.
Yes, I do.
I don't agree with you. I don't. I mean, unless that game's played in a monsoon, which, I mean, it could be, I guess. That's the only way you're better than Atlanta. You're just not. You watch those 2 teams, there's no path. There's no path that you are – all right, let's play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Which would you rather have? The quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons or the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Falcons.
Would you rather have the weapons, I didn't say receivers, the weapons of the Atlanta Falcons or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
I feel like that's much closer than you do.
It's close. I didn't say it wasn't close.
Okay.
But I still give it to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Their offensive line are yours.
Yeah.
Their defensive line are yours.
Yeah.
Their secondary are yours. Their coach are yours. Okay, you're not better than them at anything. They're better than you. I mean, you can say Falcon's going to Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
That gives us this context that the Buccaneers aren't the same level of loser franchise. They are. You keep winning a bad division, it doesn't make you a good franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem. Because now you've had a team that I do think has passed you. I don't think they're great. They play an easier schedule than you. They've already beaten you once in a game that you really had no reason to lose. And I've seen you're bad. I haven't seen they're bad. Week 1, they didn't think Kirk Cousins could drop back. Yeah, that was bad. That was more stupid than bad. I hadn't done it since. And I just look at Tampa Bay and go, this is fool's gold. You've beaten a Commanders team early. I don't think you would like to play them again.
Mm-hmm.
You won a game against the Lions that is an absolute farce. I think it's the greatest discrepancy in total yards gained from a winner to a loser in like the last 7 years.
Yep.
You beat an Eagles team that I think is absolutely awful. And then you beat the Saints in a game that was close as it could be for 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turned on a dime when Spencer Rattler started turning the ball over. But, I mean, at the end of the day, in a game that you scored 51 points, you had a quarterback turn it over 3 or 4 times. I know he threw 3 picks, but didn't he have a fumble too?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Maybe he had a fumble that was called back. I remember a ball on the ground.
Right. So Tampa Bay comes in at number 12, and then you have at number 11.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Just
I didn't say they were great.
Right.
I said they're better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think a lot of those things I just said are actually close. Secondary's not close. I'll take Atlanta's 100 times out of 100 and 200 times on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Weapons are close, but they have a Bijan Robinson and a Kyle Pitts that I still haven't seen anything out of. Don't ask me why nobody can figure it out with him, because I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I watch it on tape, and it's like they don't even try.
Yeah.
He's more decoy than he is anything. And there are times that I can absolutely tell he knows I'm not even in the progression. All I'm trying to do is pull a safety away. All I'm trying to do is pull a linebacker away and open up a spot for Drake London. Why that is, I don't know. I do not know.
It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense with somebody with that much talent that you can't figure out a way to get him involved in the offense.
Especially when you can figure out how to get Ray McLeod and Darnell Mooney and Tyler Algier involved.
I mean,
that doesn't make any sense to
can
me.
Kyle Pitts not separate? Can you not find him in a progression?
The best answer I've got is that Kyle Pitts is really shifty and really athletic for a tight end. At the end of the day, he's not really shifty and really athletic for a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what he is. He is a wide receiver because he couldn't block me. And so putting him in line with a team that wants to run the way this team does is kind of counterintuitive. So you have to use him as a big receiver, and it's hard to get him to separate. I said the same thing about Michael Pittman. When he came into the league, the big knock on him was, can he separate from corners that are as big as him? Because that's how he won. He's so big that he can high point balls over smaller corners. Well, Kyle Pitts has really yet to show an ability to do that. And he gets corners a lot. The unsettling thing, he doesn't beat safeties all that consistently. But even with all of that, taking Kyle Pitts out of it, making him the 5 in this offense, I still think you're the best team in this division. I think you're going to make the playoffs. And then I don't know. I would have said there wasn't a snowball's chance in Atlanta that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won a game last year, but they did.
Yep. It all depends on who you get. You know, you may get matched up with a team like the Philadelphia Eagles who are backsliding into the playoffs. You just never know. And I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the epitome of the you just never know. Because I go in every week thinking, yeah, I'm not real sure about how this is going to go. And usually I can tell in the first quarter of a game whether or not this team's going to have a chance to win this game. And as long as there's a chance, I feel like they can beat just about anybody. The problem is like I said, you pretty much know pretty quickly whether or not you're going to be in a game or not.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
But when we come back, we have breaking news.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
If you like my corny dad jokes, then you need to go see Dr. Rebecca Merrill at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry. I sat down with her the other day, and she had me laughing. And, y'all, that is the environment that they create at Asheville Smiles. You're going to feel relaxed. It's like a family when you go there. They want to make sure that you are comfortable during whatever procedure, whatever process you have to have done. With general family dentistry, as well as Invisalign orthodontics, with free Invisalign consultations. Also, they do Botox, fillers, sleep apnea screenings, which are also free. Read more online at AshevilleSmiles.com.
Latinos are driving prosperity, power, and progress in America. Yet 77% of Hispanics don't know about their contributions to the country. From population growth to representation, economy, and education, Latinos are advancing positively and driving American progress. This Hispanic Heritage Month, it's your turn to speak about how Latinos are driving the growth and shaping the culture of the U.S. Let's elevate together the narrative of our community as who we are. Hispanic Stars. For more information, go to HispanicStar.org.
The 2024 general election is right around the corner, and News Radio 570 WWNC is covering every angle of it for you. From the local elections right here in Western North Carolina to the state offices in Raleigh, and of course, the race for the White House. News Radio 570 WWNC is your official election information station.
Do you need help recovering from the recent disaster? FEMA may be able to help, but you have to apply. In addition to the money for food, water, and medicine, you may be able to receive support for housing, home repairs, business supplies, school supplies, and more. If you are in a county approved for FEMA individual assistance, go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. Apply for disaster assistance today.
The Sportsocracy.
Told you.
He did make me think.
Don't do it.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
Don't do it unless you want to hear about how I feel.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Let's just put that on conversation probation and leave it alone.
On ESPN Asheville.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingalls. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real. In the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingalls. Low prices, love the savings.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. It is a Power Rankings Tuesday, but we also have...
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
All right, he wouldn't let me look during the break.
I wouldn't let you look because I wanted your reaction to be authentic when you find out we have another trade in the NFL. Amari Cooper has been traded
to
the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, wow. Okay. The Jets and the Bills making moves to win the AFC East.
It was a third-round pick. So let me get this straight.
Wait.
You got Amari Cooper for a third-round pick. The Jets got Devontae Adams for a third-round pick. I mean, I see an advantage to one of those teams.
Sure.
It is not the one that circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
I mean, the Jets certainly get more value out of that, but you're also potentially giving up a second-round pick. Is this one a conditional too?
No.
Or is
pick
this
swap.
it's just third?
It's pick swap. There's a pick going to Buffalo too. I just don't know what it is.
Ah.
I mean, does this make you feel any kind of way?
I mean, it makes me like Buffalo's offense more.
I will agree with that.
Gives you a big receiver to try to stretch the field a little bit with. Because he can still do that.
Well, he's not a big receiver. He's 6'1".
I thought he was like 6'3".
No, he's 6'1", 205.
Mm.
Amari Cooper's not a big guy at all. I mean, I think he can play the Stephon Diggs role. I like this for Buffalo. I don't really like the timing of it because that feels reactionary. And you could have been working on this for 2 weeks. I don't know. I think he can fill that Stephon Diggs role quite nicely. But it's going to be Stephon Diggs from Wish.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought Amari Cooper was a little overrated. He will have huge games. He will also have games where he is completely irrelevant.
But he's also never had a quarterback this good.
Oh, well.
Right? I mean,
he had Dak Prescott, which is not as good as Josh Allen. I get that.
He had Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
None of those
he's also
live up to Josh Allen.
I mean, yeah. Look, he's a good receiver. I think he's a top. I said earlier, Devontae Adams was a top 12 receiver in the NFL. I think Amari Cooper is a top 30 receiver in the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you undervalue how many good receivers there are in the NFL. I did this earlier and got to 20, and Terry McLaurin was 20 and went, good God, receiver is good in this league.
All right, so there you have it. The Buffalo Bills making the move for a star wide receiver after the New York Jets did the same thing earlier today, getting Devontae Adams from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Kelvin Joyner with a very good point. The Jets picked up all of Devontae Adams' contract. The Browns are paying part of Amari Cooper's.
There you go.
We have 2 Super Chats as well.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
One of them was from our buddy Colin telling us of the deal that Amari Cooper had been dealt to the Buffalo Bills. And Sir Jimothy said Don Fry, the goat mustache, and he said he would die on that hill.
Who?
Don Fry was a wrestler. Solid stash.
Is he related to Glenn Fry?
I didn't look up his genealogy. I Googled him and saw that he was a wrestler.
Or is he related to Charlie Fry?
Once awesome for a second quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. Or the greatest of the fries, the French fry.
I was going to say, or is he related to the Fry guy? You remember the Fry guy from McDonald's?
I do not. I remember the Fry radio they had in the commercials.
Yeah.
I always wanted that thing.
Weren't the Fry guys the little pom-pom looking
like
things?
Salt.
That hung out with the Hamburglar? You don't remember that?
I don't know. I could never get over Grimace and what he actually is and the fact that nobody wants to talk about it.
When you were a kid, you didn't know what he actually was.
I figured it out earlier than you would want me to.
He's a taste bud.
I was in the 3rd grade going,
Hello?
I call bull excrement. I don't envy you having to make promotional things for this show because, see, that one would be great except for the fact that you could never play that as a commercial.
Never. Never, ever. Top 10
in the week. It takes a lot in life. I have to try to make promos from that guy who says things that are not nice quite often.
Top 10 in the Week 7 Power Rankings. Number 10.
He's a taste bud. You're so adorable.
The
Washington Commanders.
All right, so the commies have now worked their way into the top 10.
They're the Washington Commanders, not the Washington Communists. They are not the commies.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Andrew McCarthy. He will tell you. I mean, yeah, you're 4-2, but am I the only one that understands you haven't beaten anybody good yet?
Well, look, you can't. I mean, you can only play the teams in front of you.
For sure. But, there are people talking about the Commanders are in the top 5, and I'll be honest with you, I fully planned on them being there until I really dug in and went, you've beaten the Giants, Bengals, Cardinals, and Browns. And only 2 of those were really convincingly. Now, look, they're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have some reservations. Now, they play the Panthers this week.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you're going to be 5-2. And Jaden Daniels may throw for 58,000 yards.
And then you face the 4-2 Bears.
You got the Bears, and you got the Giants. Then the schedule gets a little tougher defensively because you play the Steelers, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Titans, Saints, the Eagles again, the Falcons, the Cowboys. If you make the playoffs, you will have earned it. I didn't say any of those teams were great. You're not playing the best of the best, but you're playing you're not getting layups. You're not getting a New England Patriots thrown in there.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting a Panthers thrown in there or a Jaguars. This is consistently teams that are still going to be fighting for wild card berths. You're not getting anybody that's packed it up for the year of we're on to 2025.
Except for the Titans.
And, and that one's, I guess that one is to a point where they probably will have. The AFC so bad that maybe not.
Maybe.
At the bottom side. Look, Washington, you got your quarterback of the future. Terry McLaurin is a dog. I like what's happened with your running backs. The defense is overachieving. And I would be remiss if I didn't say, hey, you remember when you were really upset about Dan Quinn? Are you upset now? I didn't think so.
No.
I think they're the best team in this division.
I don't think it's really all that much of a question right now.
They're not the most talented team in the division. I think they're the best team in the division right now.
Yes. Roster on paper,
Philadelphia
is the one. But they can't.
I think worst case scenario, they finish second in this division.
Right.
And you're competitive for, if not actually clinching, a wild card berth.
All right, let's go. Number 9.
The Pittsburgh Steelers with new quarterback Russell Wilson, which doesn't – that makes my head hurt.
I don't think this is happening.
Do
you think it's happening?
It is happening.
You think they'll actually start Russell Wilson?
Why would you give him first-team reps if you weren't going to start him? Why would you have left this open for 6 weeks if you weren't going to start him? Mike Tomlin is a very good coach. I think he's got a reputation for being a great coach, and flat out, he's not. Going 9-8 every year does not make you a great coach. You have great longevity, and that puts you in the top 5 to 6 of coaches in the NFL. But in terms of guys that I would take to win a game to save my life, I don't think I'm taking Mike Tomlin in the top 5. Yeah. And decisions like this are kind of why. Because this makes no sense. You don't run the ball well, and now you're going to take away a running threat behind a bad offensive line. You've got an older quarterback who's nowhere near as mobile as he was, and he showed no proclivity to throwing it down the field last year with Denver with better receivers. There's not many teams in the NFL that Denver can say they have better receivers than. Pittsburgh Steelers are one of them. And by the way, you're doing it against the New York Jets, who desperately need a win and have one of the best secondaries in the league. It just feels clunky to me. It feels like Mike Tomlin went in with a preconceived notion of Russell Wilson is the better decision for us, no matter what has happened on the field. And I absolutely detest that out of coaches. You've got to take what is happening on the field, or what is the point? Like Justin Fields, how do you look at him over the last 6 games? Probably been the best 6-game stretch of his career. Not statistically, but in terms of playing the quarterback position in the NFL, probably the best 6-game stretch he's ever had. And you basically just said, that's not good enough. We're going to sit you for a 34-year-old washed-up veteran that doesn't really bring you anything. So it's a weird message to your team, to me.
I was going to say, or is this just Mike Tomlin placating Russell Wilson? He knows he'll have a problem if he tells him.
I don't need to placate Russell Wilson. I will cut Russell Wilson right now, and I wouldn't lose a wink of sleep over it. You're a mediocre starting quarterback. You're a good backup. That's the extent of it.
Right.
I don't think Russell Wilson is drastically better than Kyle Allen at this point. That's where I'm at.
Okay. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I'm just trying to think of it in his frame of mind. Do we throw him into practice and see what he's got? And then we can just make the cut. Because he said we're going to take it day by day. So he's getting some first-team reps tomorrow in their first practice of the week. If he comes in and looks terrible, then maybe this all changes on Thursday. He goes, yep, that wasn't it.
Stephen Tao may have just made the best comparison I've ever seen in my life. Mike Tomlin and Jeff Fisher are the same guy.
Oh, yeah.
They had a big quarterback that was super talented that covered up a lot of ills, and as soon as that quarterback was gone, weird. All of a sudden, you weren't that guy anymore.
Yeah, you won a Super Bowl.
I'm never going to unsee that. They're the same guy. They wear the same sunglasses. I'm telling you, the Matrix. We're in the Matrix. The birds aren't real. We're being followed by the government. I'm scared to death. I got to go get my tinfoil hat. And
that's another one. Jeff Fisher, should always have the mustache.
Fact. My dad actually looks a lot like Jeff Fisher.
He does kind of look
He
like
looks
Jeff
like
Fisher.
Jeff. My mom always had a crush on Jeff Fisher, and like young Jeremy was going,
does anybody else see this?
Of course you do. If you didn't, I would have a lot of questions.
We just got to get
exactly
Rick,
like your husband.
We just got to get Rick to dye it. Just dye it black.
That'll never happen.
No,
No,
he's not into that.
No, it's of which I'm thankful for. Don't do that. Rugs and dye jobs. Just let it go gray or let it fall out. It's can't fight nature, bro.
You're in the Sportsocracy. ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy continues after this here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, good-looking Tuesday afternoon, and as I've been saying, really not much going on in terms of precipitation over the next few days, maybe the next 7 days or longer. Looking at a northwest breeze and sunshine and chilly weather this afternoon, 58. Tonight down to about 35 with a few clouds around and quite breezy. Tomorrow, breezy and chilly to start, sunshine and cool in the afternoon with that northwest breeze, 52. Will feel cooler. Thursday, some frost in the morning as we're going to start off near 30 with 20s in some spots. Sunny later, high 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
If you missed our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, make some noise!
Watch the best moments exclusively on Hulu right now.
All right, you guys are up for a party, I can tell.
See the biggest festival headliners from around the world assembled on one stage on one show.
This iHeart energy is so incredible. See it all at our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One.
Streaming only on Hulu right now.
What's the best place to reach new customers for your business? Wherever they are. And that's exactly where you can be with iHeartMedia. We talk to our listeners everywhere, from the car to the gym to the kitchen. Your next customer is listening. And not only can we get your message to your audience, we can also show you how it's working in real time. That goes for broad brand messaging and targeted hyperlocal influencer campaigns alike. Start growing your business today. Dial pound 250 and say great results. That's pound 250, say great results.
This football season, whether you're on the field chasing victory or cheering from the stands, Western Carolina orthopedic specialists are here to keep you in the game. From sports injuries to routine care, our team of experts delivers top-notch orthopedic and sports medicine care so you can stay strong all season long. Play hard. We've got your back. Western Carolina orthopedic specialists. Visit us online or call 828-452-4131. That's 828-452-4131.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
With WWNC, you can have traffic reports in your bedroom.
Get the latest traffic updates anywhere you've got a smart speaker.
And find out about your drive before you even get in the car.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
I'm Cheryl Swoops. And I'm Tarika Foster Brasby. And on our new podcast, we're talking about the real obstacles women face day to day.
Because no matter who you are, there are levels to what we experience as women.
And T and I have no problem going there.
Listen to Levels to This with Cheryl Swoops and Tarika Foster Brasby on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Levels to This with Cheryl Swoops and Tarika Foster Brasby and start listening.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You were just dumping a bag of hammers.
And we are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Power Ranking Tuesday. Number 8 on the power rankings this week for week 7.
Way to delay that. a big old swallow of
Yeah.
soup. The San Francisco 49ers. Somebody brought us soup. You're a god. You're a godsend, whoever you were. I was about to starve to death.
Jeremy loves soup.
I do. I am very slotty when it comes to soup, and this is good soup too.
San Francisco 49ers coming in at number 8. And, where do you feel about San Francisco right now? I mean, are they treading water to you, or do you have hopes that this can be the juggernaut at the end of the year?
I don't see the juggernaut. I don't see a threat to the Detroit Lions and the San Francisco 49ers. Do you?
Nah.
I mean, you have all the pieces. This is a 3-3 team that has losses to the Cardinals, Rams, and Vikings.
Where's Christian?
I don't think he'll play it down all year.
And that's the concern for me. Like later in the season, if he came back and they were still within striking range, absolutely. San Francisco could make it back to another Super Bowl. But I don't know that you can without Christian McCaffrey.
Well, they play the Kansas City Chiefs this week in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a weird feeling you're about to get your head busted. I mean, McCaffrey's not that big of a piece. He's a phenomenal offensive piece.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, you got a quarterback that's completing about 65% of his passes. You're one of the best running teams in the NFL. And you're still 3-3.
Yep.
That's a really bad sign. And you can tell me how good that defense. Can I give you a little bit of a conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
I think the NFL's figuring out this San Francisco defense. Because it's happened to the Jets and it's happened to San Francisco too. This is not nearly as daunting as it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've just done the same thing for so long. And San Francisco's has changed a little bit. They're not what they were. And I don't think they're going to be. I'm not blaming this on Brock Purdy. I know everybody hears me say anything about San Francisco, and that's immediately where they think I'm going to go.
Right.
He's been fine. I don't think he's a star,
Mm-hmm.
but he's been fine.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think you're that good. You're really thin. You're a top quarter of the league team, but you're not a threat to me.
And Mason's been really good in relief with Christian McCaffrey.
Leading rusher in the NFL, or second behind Derrick Henry, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong because I didn't check that after this week. Yeah, he's two. Wow. Stop.
What?
Who's third in the NFL in rushing right now?
Saquon Barkley.
No, he's 4. I'll give you 5 guesses at this. I bet you don't get it right.
Oh, it's got to be somebody stupid.
It is somebody stupid.
It's Chuba Hubbard, isn't it?
It is Chuba Hubbard. Get out of here.
Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba Hubbard is third in rushing.
Well, I guess when your offense can't do anything else, he kind of falls on the running back to do it all.
I mean, you have the quarterback with the second most yards in the NFL, the running back with the second most yards in the NFL, and you're 3-3. It's not like things are going to get markedly better.
Right.
I don't buy San Francisco.
All right, and number 7.
The Green Bay Packers. Now, Green Bay has the exact opposite problem that the San Francisco 49ers have.
Okay.
They are really good across the board. How many stars does that team have?
Stars?
Stars.
Jair Alexander.
I don't think he's a star. I think he's a grossly overrated quarterback. For me, it's Rashawn Gary. End of message.
And that's the last one.
Jaden Reed is getting close. I think he's about to have the start. He's the receiver you want.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's just a collection of really, really good players. And here's why I say that. Name me the player that could get abducted by space aliens and all of a sudden this team's going to fold like a deck chair.
Jordan Love.
Went 2-0 with Malik Willis. Didn't seem to miss a beat with Malik Willis.
Yeah, but that was against what? The Colts and the Titans?
I don't care if it was against the Irwin Warriors. You didn't miss a beat with a quarterback that I was actively claiming didn't deserve to sell popcorn in the stands of an NFL stadium.
Yeah.
Green Bay is real good.
Jair Alexander will get cooked by that Warriors offense. You just wait.
False.
False. I'm going to say that is false. You can
Now,
check out the Irwin Warriors this week on the Buncombe County High School Football Game of the Week against Robertson.
Look at Tank. Cross promo.
Yeah, you know.
Take
It's the way it is.
broken wings,
We also have
fly again.
high school football tonight on AM 1400. Tuscola squeezing in a makeup game against Franklin tonight. So I believe 6:30. I think that's the start of 4:30. I forgot it's a 5 o'clock kickoff tonight. So they're starting at 4:30 pregame show on AM 1400 and TuscolaRadio.com. Continuing with the power rankings here, Green Bay at 7. That means we got another NFC North team
here's the
coming
problem.
up.
Here's the problem for Green Bay. The Minnesota Vikings.
Well, they're 5-0. Sammy Darnold, he's on his way. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Sammy D, MVP.
On his way to a 5-0 record with the Vikings. Didn't see that coming. Jeremy's been saying for years that there's still life left in Sammy D, and he's proved it so far. And can it continue is the question.
For sure. For sure it can continue. He hasn't done anything that untoward that is non-replicable. He's just been really consistently good. And I think it is going to continue. This was a perfect situation for him to go into. The best he has ever looked was with a high flyer wide receiver that could beat people down the field. Nowhere near the level of talent of Jordan Addison or Justin Jefferson. Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way, and he gets T.J. Hawkinson back this week too.
Ooh.
So.
Yeah. So they take on the Lions?
That's game of the week material to me.
That's is that Monday night?
I don't know.
I'm trying to do the math in my head.
I was perturbed last night by the time they started promoting any of the games next week.
Right.
That game is not on Monday night. We have 2 Monday night games. Oh, my God. Baltimore at Tampa Bay, or for the masochist in us all, the Los Angeles Chargers at the Arizona Cardinals.
Ooh. Look at that.
How did ESPN look at the schedule and go, yeah, we want to do that? Oh, two of the worst, or well, not worst. They have great fan bases, just small fan bases. 2 of the smallest fan bases in the NFL. Let's pit them against each other in an interconference matchup on Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Eesh.
Minnesota Vikings come in at 6. Number 5.
The Baltimore Ravens. I'm on board. You're doing good things, but I think you have a ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought you had a ceiling, which is I don't see how you're going to beat those top 2 teams in the AFC. And now we got a third one that's at least worth talking about.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can bash people's heads in with your running game, mm-hmm. and that'll give you an opportunity to win. The problem is when it comes down to the end of the game, I mean, you're going to have to rely on a receiver probably to make the play. Right, in order to beat the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to have some kind of a spark, and you can have that in Zay Flowers,
but that's it.
But that's all you got.
And it is bothersome to me how easily contained he is when teams fixate on it.
Mm-hmm.
That Washington defense, it overachieves, but it's not great. He had 9 catches for 132 yards in the first half. He finished with 9 catches for 132 yards. You just don't have another weapon. Mm-hmm. I mean, while we're out here trading for wide receivers, I mean, Baltimore, I am no Eric DaCosta, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night, and maybe you should join the fray.
I do declare.
I believe it is time for you to find one of those wide receivers.
I mean, where would you find one?
Let's see, that's better than Rashad Bateman. I think you could get one at your local Ingles store. I'm pretty sure you could pick one up in the paint aisle of Home Depot.
Mm-hmm.
You raid the Tennessee Titans. What would you take for DeAndre Hopkins? We will give you $8.
Yes.
Final offer.
I'll give you a conditional 9th round pick.
I will give you a conditional 6th round pick in the XFL draft.
At number 4.
The Buffalo Bills. Oh, look, we talked about them earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen is a dog. And last night, he didn't play particularly well. The defense didn't play particularly well. But you were able to run the ball. As long as Buffalo can run the ball that way, and I think Ray Davis is really good, by the way, they're going to be fine. I don't think they're a Super Bowl threat, but I also think they're going to win a lot of games. But I do still think the New York Jets are winning the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I'll die on that hill.
Yeah,
if I have to die on that hill, I am prepared to die for my cause.
I was ready to go down that path with you.
Amari Cooper doesn't change that much.
Until the Amari Cooper thing.
Amari Cooper doesn't change that much. A top 30 wide receiver does not change that much. Because I'll be honest with you, he and Keon Coleman are not that different right now. Seriously.
Okay. It makes a big old difference, though, now that you have two of them. Because you had Keon Coleman and nothing, and now you have
you
Amari
had Keon
Cooper
Coleman, you had Khalil Shakir, who's been pretty productive out of the slot. You had Curtis Samuel that's been playing all over the formation. It just didn't matter. I don't think that's as big a deal as people are going to make it. It helps, and he's going to play that Stephon Diggs role, which they have been missing.
Mm-hmm.
But that also kind of changes that scheme, and it's working. So
I
would gather my rosebuds while I may. Old times are still flying.
Number 3.
The Detroit Lions. Speaking of teams that need to make a trade, where are we coming along on one of them edge rushers?
Yeah, can we get Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders?
It blows my mind how many people have brought that up. Like, no, you can't get Max Crosby. From
the Las Vegas Raiders are selling. I'm buying. Especially Max Crosby.
I'm just out of sheer curiosity.
Yeah.
I want to know what that would cost.
Oh, the Raiders?
Yeah.
After they just gave Max Crosby, what, $100 million last year?
Yeah. That is one thing. If you ever want to know a way to really kill trade rumors, just go to oldoverthecat.com because there's this thing that you click on it and it tells you if they traded him.
It's not a lot.
It's not as much as I would have thought.
$50 million.
No.
Lower than that?
It's $15 million total. Okay. Maybe that's not as insane as I thought.
Because I'll give you whatever you want.
And the Raiders would save $25 million. God, that deal must have been. Oh, I see. He has no guaranteed money after this year. It's all prorated signing bonus.
I'm in.
That's pretty smart. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty smart.
Yeah. And like I said, I'll give you whatever you want.
2 ones. That's what it's going to cost.
Yes.
And he's 27 years old. But, and this big but, you got him for the rest of the year to take over for Aiden Hutchinson.
Mm-hmm.
And a year from now, you got them both.
And then watch out.
I mean, that Lions team had to pay a lot of dudes, and they would struggle to get him under the cap, but they might be able to work. That may not be as untoward as.
You want to win a Super Bowl, that could be the way to go. Number 2.
I wouldn't blame you if you did. The Houston Texans. Yeah.
They're 5-1.
Yeah. They're figuring this out. That Texans team is solid.
Mm-hmm.
And the defense is just so good. Now, I do think you have a problem. Derek Stingley is good. He's not great. And when you go up against true ones, I think that's going to get unveiled. They don't really have a great win yet. You beat the Bills, which is obviously a good win, but it wasn't really an impressive win.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, you've beaten 4 dregs. You got time.
Yeah.
They play at the Packers this week, which good Lord, this is the best week of NFL football that we've had yet. And somehow in a primetime game, we got the Chargers and the Cardinals and the Broncos and the Saints. Okay, TV, get your stuff right. Or just contact us and go with DC Streams, and you can watch them all anyway. And next 100 customers, proceeds go to Hurricane Helene Relief. They're king of transitions.
Good for you.
Let's go.
And finally, the number 1 team.
reigning, defending Kansas City Chiefs.
Is there a concern? What's your biggest concern with the number one team?
I don't love their the tackles on their offensive line. So I do have a fear that head-to-head with Houston, they've got Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson. I think that would be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo's got Von Miller and A.J. Epinesa and Greg Rousseau when he's healthy, and I think that could be a problem. Because without Rashee Rice, you really have Xavier Worthy and a bunch of dudes. And Travis Kelce does not look like Travis Kelce. So I never thought I would say this, but if I had a fear, it would be the offense.
Yeah.
But you have Pat Mahomes, who could throw to 4 dudes that you found at the Home Depot and throw for 4,000 yards.
This weekend, the Kansas City Chiefs at the San Francisco 49ers.
This is the best week in NFL football.
Very good.
I was supposed to be at the Jet game this weekend. There's a great chance that we're going to Omaha! Audible that bad boy off.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Back with you tomorrow here at noon.
Latinos are driving prosperity, power, and progress in America. Yet 77% of Hispanics don't know about their contributions to the country. From population growth to representation, economy, and education, Latinos are advancing positively and driving American progress. This Hispanic Heritage Month, it's your turn to speak about how Latinos are driving the growth and shaping the culture of the U.S. Let's elevate together the narrative of our community as who we are, Hispanic Stars. For more information, go to HispanicStar.org.
Cruise weight loss is not available everywhere. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Restrictions apply. Wegovy and Ozempic are not compounded.
Everyone's talking about the breakthrough of weight loss drugs. With hers, you can access doctor-trusted weight loss plans that are tailored to you 100% online. Like compounded GLP-1 weekly injections with the same active ingredient as Ozempic and Wegovy. All for as low as $199 a month with a 12-month plan paid up front. No hidden fees and no membership fees. Get started at forhers.com/afford today. That's forhers.com/afford.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out. Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out. Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
It's the Marketer's Report. Today, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, tells us about the advantages the speed of audio production affords their growing tech company.
At Moderna, we have a mindset saying that we pivot fearlessly. And I think with audio, you can pivot fearlessly. You can go where the news is and bringing in content that perhaps you didn't have a few weeks earlier. It's less 6 months in advance or 3 months in advance when you do a TVC. You're able to create really nimble content, which I think in this day and age, and particularly at Moderna, where we have new information coming out on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, good-looking Tuesday afternoon, and as I've been saying, really not much going on in terms of precipitation over the next few days, maybe the next 7 days or longer. Looking at a northwest breeze and sunshine and chilly weather this afternoon, 58. Tonight down to about 35 with a few clouds around and quite breezy. Tomorrow breezy and chilly to start, sunshine and cool in the afternoon with that northwest breeze, 52. Will feel cooler. Thursday, some frost in the morning as we're going to start off near 30 with 20s in some spots. Sunny later, high 60. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock.
Every 3 seconds, there's a new victim of identity theft in the U.S. This Cybersecurity Awareness Month, get LifeLock for comprehensive identity theft protection. LifeLock alerts you to suspicious activity of your personal information. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/cybersafety.
Deep in the back of your mind, you've always had the feeling that there's something strange about reality. There is. Stuff to Blow Your Mind, an iHeart podcast that dives deep into the mysteries of the universe. With more than 2,500 episodes ready to listen, Stuff to Blow Your Mind will guide you through the strange, the bizarre, and the mind-blowing. Listen to Stuff to Blow Your Mind on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff to Blow Your Mind to start listening.
Do you need help recovering from the recent disaster? FEMA may be able to help, but you have to apply. In addition to the money for food, water, and medicine, you may be able to receive support for housing, home repairs, business supplies, school supplies, and more. If you're in a county approved for FEMA individual assistance, go to disasterassistance.gov or call 1-800-621-3362. Apply for disaster assistance today.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.